Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to DRTV live on the DRL network for this special presentation of the FTF Jones Cup Series. Coming to you live from the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Asus 300. Four of the league's most talented drivers remain in a winner-take-all championship race. So go ahead and grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, find that comfy spot on the couch, sit back and enjoy all of the live flag-to-flag action from the fastest sim racers in the NR 2003 community. Coming to you live next on the DRL Network.
And we welcome you to DRL Network's live coverage of the Asus 300 tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. DRTV's first ever trip over to the FTF Racing Clan, and an awesome night indeed to come over here for the first time as it's championship night for the Jones Cup Series. A tremendous field here tonight, a full field knockout qualifying just getting over here a couple of minutes ago, and we're thrilled to have it here apart. First trip for DRTV over to FTF. We thank these guys out there. Everybody out there in YouTube land for watching tonight, thank you very much. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with my broadcast partners, Too Tall Todd Stanton, Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, and as always, now Joe Allen up in the booth with us. A four-man team here strong on DRTV, and what better way to kick off this night, guys. 200 laps, 300 miles at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Todd Stanton, our first trip to FTF. And as Joe coined it, these guys probably the fastest drivers in the NASCAR Racing 2-on-3 community. And we're going to see a lightning quick race here at Homestead tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to see a really, really good race here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Tell you what, Phil, these guys are some of the fastest racers in the NASCAR 2003 community. I have to keep coining on that, and I'm going to coin on that all evening long. These guys, you see them at any other league. They are some of the faster guys in any of the other leagues when they show up, Phil. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, certainly going to be a fantastic night. And as we said, Joe Allen, four drivers come in tonight, championship eligible. The top finisher of those four drivers, of course, it's David Schildhouse, Derek Justice, Ryan Williams, and Taylor Morgans. I mean, those are four of the fastest drivers you can find in this community. It's going to be a show full of heavy hitters tonight, top to bottom of this field. I mean, you just look up and down this impressive roster, Joe. I mean, it can basically come from anywhere. Anybody can win this race, but the big picture of the championship, and just that race within a race like we seen last night as part of the Premier Cup Series, another race like that here at the Jones Cup Series here tonight, their chase format, it's going to make for one fantastic evening, I believe.
Oh, definitely, Phil. We got a lineup full of star-studded drivers here. We got guys of the likes of Derek Justice, David Schildhouse, Tom Sylvain, Maverick Morrow, Ryan Williams, Taylor Morgans, Colin Keister, Jason Justice, Matt Vassar, Zach Rogers, David Day, Dylan Smith, just all, star-studded names up and down this entire lineup here, and definitely going to put on a show for our viewers out there in YouTube land that are tuning into this event, cheering on their drivers, and definitely going to put on a great show from those final four guys. You touched on it with David Schildhouse and Derek Justice, Ryan Williams, Taylor Morgans, all these guys out here that have put in a ton of work this entire season to get to this point, and I expect more of the same from those guys. Going to all probably be running up towards the front somewhere and battling out to see who can go ahead and take home a championship here to wrap up this 2016 season.
Yeah, and just looking up and down through these statistics they were given to us, Joe. Six-time winner this year, Taylor Morgans highlights that list. Also, Ryan Williams, a six-time winner here at FTF in the Jones Cup Series here in 2016. The other two guys, David Schildhouse, Derek Justice, each two-time winners this season. So it's going to be just a fantastic evening here on DRTV on the DRL Network. But let's throw it down to the first time tonight to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. And Rich, we've been around here on DRTV for 3 years now, but our first trip over to FTF, and we've known the reputation of FTF for a long time. These guys are super fast, and they like to mix it up out there. And it's going to be very interesting to see what our first trip over to FTF is like for us here on DRTV.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. By far one of the strongest running leagues in the series right now. One of the biggest car counts that we're going to see out here. A full field of 36 cars tonight. These guys are known throughout the community as the young guns. There's a lot of active drivers out here. Very competitive, very fast. This is going to be an exciting race. I can tell you one thing I was watching earlier in practice. These guys are not afraid to take the front stretch and the back stretch 3 and 4 wide continuously. So it's going to be one heck of an event here tonight. Hopefully they keep them fenders clean and we get a lot of green flag racing. But this is going to be an amazing race tonight, guys.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Todd, we talk about it. 300 miles, 200 laps here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's championship night. It's a season finale for these guys. All these guys are jacked up. And, if anybody watched the Sprint Cup Series race at Homestead for championship night this afternoon, you saw a wild race here. I think we're in for another wild race here this evening. And, the reputation FTF got, these guys being fast and loving to mix it up and drive 2 and 3 wide over this racetrack. I think we're going to be in for one wild ride. And I can't wait to see where these next 200 laps get us. But it's a long race, as we said, 200 laps. You got to maintain your car that long if you want to be in contention.
Yeah, definitely got to maintain your car quite a long time here tonight. And like you said, nothing was left out on the table in the Homestead-Miami race here in NASCAR. I don't think you're going to see any one of these drivers leave anything left on the track.
Well, guys, it's about time to fire up these festivities up here. The Jones Cup season finale, the Asus Republic of Gamers 300 being done by the FTF Racing Clan here tonight. And these guys just teching into the tail end of happy hour, so we're just seconds away from putting this Asus 300 for the FTF Jones Cup Series under green flag conditions. But before we get there, let's dive straight into the starting lineup, Todd.
And now your starting lineup for the Asus 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 21, that's Derek Justice. And outside of him, driving the number 7, that's David Schildhaus.
Following off in the third position, that's the number 2 of Tom Sylvain, and to his outside, the number 57 of Maverick Morrow.
Rolling off tonight, position number 5 will be the driver of car number 28 from Charlotte, North Carolina, the Vast House Racing Machine. That's a championship contender, Ryan Williams, and to his outside in the 036, also a championship contender, that's Taylor Morgans.
Next row back, starting in that 7th starting position, driving the number 14. That's Colin Keister, and his dancing partner to the outside. The most popular driver here in the FTF stables, driving the number 9. That's Brandon Lawson.
Rolling off in that 9th position, the number 53, that's Kevin McAdams, and to his outside, rolling off 10th, that's the number 71 of Chris Wentz.
Rolling off tonight from position number 11 aboard car number 62. Been a long time since we've seen this individual on DRTV. That's our friend Jason Justice there in that Bud Light machine. And to his outside aboard car number 29, we welcome back to DRTV, Matt Vassar.
Next row back, starting in that 13th starting position, driving the number 40, that's Doug Denice. And outside of him, driving the number 93 in the 14th starting position, that's Rick Johnson.
Rolling off in that 15th position, we got the number 70 of Jonathan Taylor, and to his outside, rolling off 16th, the number 55 of Mike Fallon.
Rolling off tonight from position number 17 will be the driver of car number 8 from Ontario, Canada. That's Jordan Bustard, and to his outside aboard car number 4, it's Zach Rogers.
Starting at 19th starting position, driving the number 42, that's Jake Pullen, and outside of him is Matt Kemp in the number 50.
Rolling off 21st, another familiar name to us in that 05, that's David Day, and to his outside in the 22nd starting position, the number 17 of Cody Erdman.
Rolling off tonight from 23rd aboard car number 24, a heavy hitter, that's Cosman of the 24 from Romania, and to his outside row number 12, 24th starter in car number 18, that is Dylan Smith.
25th starting position, driving the number 1, that's Ryan Naraki, and outside of him is Tristan Hagenstein in the number 27.
And rolling off in our 27th starting position, that's the number 33 of Adam Kodal, and to his outside in the 28th position, the number 10 of Chris Barnes.
Rolling off tonight from position number 29, it will be car number 47. That, of course, Sonny Tallman in the 47, and to his outside, 30th starter aboard car number 77. That is JT Stubbs, Matt Durr, the 92, Adam Roof in the 98, Zach Stultz in the 52, Andre Columbia there in the number 39. He'll roll off 34, 35th starter, Alfonso Claudio, Andrew Schwartz in the 67. I believe that's our full field starting lineup, guys. 36 drivers strong to take the green flag here. The Asus Republic of Gamers, 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Race number 36 for the Jones Cup Series. Championship night here once again. Championship weekend continues on DRTV. And Joe Allen, 200 laps around the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We're about to throw this thing under the green flag.
Yes, we are. As we see that pace van dive left down to pit road, we're going to take this thing under green as Derek Justice leads him down the front straightaway, diving down into turn 1. Little key note for all of our viewers out there, our 4 championship contenders. Look for those teal visors, bumper liners, and rear spoilers. Those are going to be the 4 championship contenders that you want to keep your eye on today. As we see Derek Justice now take the field down the middle of the backstretch, he's resumed the lead over the number 7 of David Schildhaus. We see the 2 of Tom Sylvain following suit, and that number 57 of Maverick Morrow in that familiarly painted Oreo paint scheme as they take us down the front straightaway to complete lap 1 here, Phil.
Yeah, they single file off of turn number 4, which I would assume they would probably get to, and we'll have to see over the course of what a long green flag run will look like, where these guys will go up as far as the groove on the racetrack. So far, the top side looking to be the place of the preferred leaders up there. Justice in the 21, the 7 of David Schildhaus. They're breaking away from his field. It's Tom Sylvain in the number 2 trying to run them down. Is now the 7 car of Schildhaus, Todd. He'll swing to the inside. They're going to be side by side off of 4 for the race lead.
David Schildhaus way down on the bottom side, trying to get around the number 21 of Derek Justice down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Schildhaus down on the bottom, Justice up top. There side by side here through 1 and 2 and going down the back straightaway. The number 7 of Schildhaus trying to edge and trying to close in on the number 7 of Justice, not able to do so.
So, and as we've seen here at Homestead multiple times here over the years, guys, the outside lane looking to be that preferred line as we see Justice rolling way up the hill. Schildhaus in that number 7. He'll dive back to the inside. Can he complete the pass that time, Joe Allen? He were right there, bumper to bumper. He may have the best chance he's got at the race lead as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, we see David Schildhaus take a nose out on Derek Justice there through the middle 1 and 2. Not sure if he's going to be able to make that pass. Looks like he's going to be able to clear him as they exit 2 down the back straightaway. Derek Justice all over the back bumper of that number 7 of David Schildhaus, guys. So David Schildhaus moved himself into the lead. Big battle early on between those 2 championship contenders. I think we got the 28 of Ryan Williams back in that 5th position, the 36 of Taylor Morgan. He's right back in the 6th position. So all 4 of our championship contenders, guys, all in the top 10, all within a couple cars of each other. So, you know, nothing new there to see those guys up front as, you know, David Schildhaus here looks like he's taking a commanding lead over Derek Justice.
Yeah, they certainly have. If you look at those 4 guys in championship contention, guys, you got 2 6-time winners and 2 2-time winners. So that's a lot of races here that make up the 36 race schedule in 2016 for the Jones Cup Series. So you look for the cream of the crop to rise to the top, as they would say. And so far, our first championship contender, the 7 of David Schildhaus. He's established his way to the race lead. The race now is for that 2nd spot, Todd, between Justice and that 21. Tom Sylvain in that number 2. He is all over the back bumper as they drag race down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Sylvain right there in his tire tracks. Justice running that really extreme high groove here around the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Again, not one of his favorite tracks to be visiting on the circuit is Derek Justice at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. The number 2, Tom Sylvain, still trying to work over the bottom, not able to make a pass there early, but he's way up top and almost into the wall with the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. Sylvain losing a little bit of ground.
Yeah, Maverick Morrow is now coming to that fray as well. He is right on top of those 2 drivers. He was last night's winner, of course, in the Premier Cup Series. This looks like the field backing down, and guys, yellow flag may be on the speedway. And Joe Allen, something very new to us here on DRTV. I think the first time, one of the very minimal times we've had to do this. Way of the land over here at FTF, it is called gentlemen's cautions. You're not going to see the yellow caution lights display. You're not going to see the pace car come out and tag the field per normal. When the yellow flag comes out, these guys tag behind the field and they pace around. And you can maybe explain that a little bit more. I know you've raced here at FTF over the years, so explain to our drivers or to our viewers out there exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've been over here, so the rules have changed just a little bit. Basically, gentlemen's cautions, they don't run the in-game caution rules at all. So the cautions are all monitored and run by the administrators in the race, and Justin Melillo is the one that's handling all of that this evening. He actually sat out this race to take care of that stuff. So basically what we have is they have a caution count. If there's any contact between drivers on the racetrack, that will normally bring out an automatic caution, if I understood the rules correctly. They used to have a self-spin rule, but as far as I know, the self-spin rule is no longer in effect. So basically, we'll have cautions on the racetrack like we see where the cars will slow down to pacing speed, but you won't see a pace car out there, and the leader is going to be in charge of the restarts when they put this thing back under green based on a restart zone. And that's kind of how the cautions work here, guys. So we're not going to see actual in-game cautions that are flown, but it all acts the same. We'll see drivers have the opportunity to come down pit road and get pit service if they need it. But really the cautions we'll see are going to be as a result of cars having contact with one another, not necessarily from self-spins of other drivers. But we're going to go ahead and throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton. He's got a replay queued up for you guys of why this latest caution is out.
Yeah, these guys are going to test my abilities tonight, not having caution flags to give me fair warning, but I found the first culprit, and we're going to keep our eyes on the 29 of Matt Vassar. It looks like he's going to get a little bit loose, maybe a little bit of contact there with the 70 as well. Makes a little bit of contact. That's going to send Vassar back up into the back of the outside wall. He tries to hold on to it, keeps it up by the wall, bounces it off the wall a little bit more. You can see the nose dive down there. He jumps on the brakes. Everybody else is trying to scramble around him. Cars are going everywhere. Also, we see the 93 Amoco machine back on the inside, down on the apron, bouncing off of that wall as well. So tough break for both of these guys, the 93 and the 29. Tough break early on in the event. Heck of a race so far, guys. Back up to you.
Yeah, we're through the first 9 laps already, and it's a 200-lap main event, so a lot of racing here left to come here on DRTV. But, you know, if it's any indication to these first 8 laps, Todd, it's a lightning-fast racetrack tonight. These guys are going to run 2, almost 3 grooves around this place. So before we see this night conclude, I think you're going to see a lot of racing here with a big field. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of 2-wide racing, and we did see a good battle for the lead right there between Shieldhouse and Justice, and so far, it looks like they can pass anywhere in this racetrack, so I think it's going to make for one electric night here through these last half of this race.
Yeah, it looks like that high groove and the bottom groove is pretty much identical. You know, the bottom groove last night when we were watching the Homestead-Miami Speedway, it looked like it was not the place to be. High side, you wanted to be up there. These guys right now seem to be able to run any place on the Speedway, able to go up high, able to go down the bottom. You're going to see what we call slide-down maneuvers.
Yep, and as we see these guys get ready to double themselves up, it looks like we're going to be getting this thing under green here within the next lap and a half or so. But you know, no surprise with some of the guys that we see up front. I know a lot of these guys run in different leagues around the SRA community that have races that have been broadcasted by us over here at DRTV. So a lot of familiar names and faces, guys. A lot of guys that we might not be familiar with that run strictly over here at FTF. But as always, putting on a great show for our fans out there in YouTube land, and we're looking forward to getting this thing back under green for you guys. And another interesting thing for some of our viewers to look at, FTF actually uses a spacing rule. So they actually have their drivers line up approximately 2 to 3 car lengths behind the row in front of them to try and give plenty of spacing to allow these drivers ample amount of time to keep their cars underneath them and you know, give people the necessary amount of room on cold tires and fresh restarts here. So that's another kind of unique thing that isn't seen a lot in some of these other leagues that you might have watched here on the on the DRL network. But definitely, you know, makes things a little more interesting for us. So as we take us down the front straightaway here, David Shieldhouse is going to go ahead and lead us down into the restart zone here. And Phil, we're going to take this thing back under green as David Shieldhouse takes us to the... actually, it doesn't look like we're going to go green this time, guys. We're going to go around one more time, it looks like.
Yeah, they must have waved it off as I saw one to go by on the screen. They were in the back straightaway, so I thought we were going to go back to green flag racing, but obviously not. We're going to be at least one more time around, so we'll let that anticipation simmer. But at the front of the field, just as we left it, the 7 of David Shieldhouse, the 21 of Derek Justice, the 28 of Ryan Williams, and the 36 of Taylor Morgans. All 4 guys championship eligible, all going to restart in the top 2 rows. So right where these guys want to be, and the best way to conquer any mission tonight here as far as winning the championship goes, you got to keep those guys in sight. And what better way for those 4 guys to do it here? Restarting 2 by 2 on the restart as the field works its way down the back straightaway. Looking back further through the field, row 3, Colin Keister and Jason Justice, so certainly no slouches in row 3. Row 4 will roll it off on the restart. Kevin McAdams and that Justin Malello, number 53. Kevin out there in the 53 tonight. He's going to restart 7th. Brandon Lawson, FTF most popular driver that was announced here last night. Brandon winning that honor in 2016. He'll restart in the 8th spot. Jordan Buster and Chris Wetz in the number 71. They're going to restart in those top 5 rows. That's your top 10. The field off of turn number 4, Joe. We're going to be looking for the green flag this time by.
Yep, as we see David Shieldhouse in that beautifully painted number 7 going to take us off at turn 4 here. Look for those 2 solid white lines there in the middle of this front stretch here. That's the restart zone as David Shieldhouse gets us back under green here. The David Shieldhouse is going to clear the 21 of Derek Justice as they get down into turn 1 here. Still drag racing 2 by 2. We see the number 28 of Ryan Williams and that 36 of Taylor Morgans as now Derek Justice goes back down to the bottom to try and get around the 7 of David Shieldhouse. He'll clear him off of turn 2 as they drag race down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and they're going to fall back in single file formation as they hit turn number 3 for the first time on the restart. Now, as we say that, here comes that 21 of Justice. He'll swing to the low side. Schildhouse will slide up high, and right behind them, Morgans and Williams, they're going to be side by side for that third spot down the front stretch toward turn one, Todd.
Yeah, Williams is on the top side right now. You got Taylor Morgans working over the bottom in that number 036 machine. He's working side by side with Ryan Williams. They got a battle going on. Schildhouse now trying to make a move on the 21 of Derek Justice down the back straightaway. Not able to do so. Justice closes that door.
Yep, as we see the 7 of David Schildhouse, he's going to go back down to the bottom here, guys, as the 21 of Derek Justice still on that high line. We see the 36 behind them. Drag race between our 4 championship guys. They're all of our 4 championship contenders, all 1, 2, 3, 4 as they battle down into turn 1 here. See the 7 of David Schildhouse still trying to clear the 21 of Derek Justice. 36 of Taylor Morgan still trying to work over that number 28 of Ryan Williams, as we see Taylor almost try to clear the 28, doesn't quite do it. 21 of Derek Justice, he's going to shoot back down to the bottom of the number 7 of David Schildhouse. So what do you think, guys? A lot of heavy racing between these 4 championship contenders up here. They're not leaving anything on the table early on is what it seems.
No, absolutely not at all. And I'm looking back, outside that top 4, rounding out the top 5, the 14 of Colin Keister. He is right there in the mix as well. He is pestering all over the back bumper of Taylor Morgans in that 36 to 28 of Williams. Colin Keister, that 14 in that 5th position, Joe. No slouch to this series as well. A 4-time winner in 2016, relegated all the way back to a 14th place in the point standings, running a limited schedule, but 4 wins in the Jones Cup Series, Joe. That is certainly nothing to shake a stick at. And Colin Keister's on the move. He's looking for that 4th spot alongside Ryan Williams as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, and we see that another familiar name to us here at DRTV. We see Jason Justice in that number 62. He's moving to the bottom. He's cleared the number 36 of Taylor Morgans. We actually see now the 14 of Colin Keister. Looks like he's trying to clear the 28 of Ryan Williams as they drag race down into turn 3. He's going to set his sights now on the 21 of Derek Justice to try and move himself up into the 2nd spot. As we see David Schildhouse leading this train up on the top side there, as we see Colin Keister, he's now going to battle that 21 as they drag race down into turn 1. Phil might be able to have the room and the position to try and see if he can clear him as they come off of turn 2 here down the backstretch.
Yeah, we'll have to see that. That inside so far looking good as Keister looks like he'll make that slide job maneuver off of turn number 2. Put Keister in position number 2, but here comes Justice, that high-low switch maneuver. Put Justice back to 2nd. Now here comes the Ryan Williams machine. That's going to be almost 3 wide there for Todd off of turn 4.
Yeah, definitely 3 wide off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Ryan Williams now on the bottom side once again. Colin Keister goes back up to the top to help Derek Justice in that number 21 machine. They're side by side. Williams trying to pull a slide job on the number 21 of Derek Justice coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, great race down the back straightaway there. Williams the 28, Keister in the 14 there as well. Taylor Morgan's right there in that 36 as well, and also a great run out the gate for the 62 of Jason Justice. He has now penetrated his way into the top 5. A white Chevrolet. Do not see Jason Justice in a Chevy very often, Joe Allen. And no, he's been operating Fords a long time. New number for Jason and new make. Was definitely sudden clicking around out there and seeing Jason in a Chevrolet, but he's having a great one. That 5th spot is the racing for 3rd. It seems to have calmed down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure Jason's going to get an earful from his brother about it as well, as we see the number 14 now, Colin Keister, going to try to make another move on the 28 of Ryan Williams here. Won't be able to do anything with him as they come off a turn 4 as they drag race down the front straightaway, but we see Jason Justice using that bottom line a whole ton as some of these other guys have moved up towards the top guys. So Jason's still trying to make moves. Looks like he's going to clear the 36 of Taylor Morgans. He's got his sights set forward on his brother, that 21 of Derek Justice. And Colin Keister now settled in behind the 28 of Ryan Williams, and all the same out front with the 7 of David Schildhouse out there leading the way for all of these guys.
Now, I'm going to ask Todd a question here, get his strategy take on this run. It's a long race here tonight. It's 200 laps at Homestead, Todd. More laps than we're normally accustomed to. Certainly a long race, 300 miles. Does it change the way these guys are going to race the racetrack? Are they more content to save their tires over sort of a long run, or are these guys going to be more risky as far as charge it and maybe wear their stuff up, knowing that they're going to make more pit stops? What do you think the thinking of these guys is?
In a longer style race like this, and this is some of the thinking I would do, is I would try to burn out my tires a little bit if I didn't get a lot of practice, to try to see what was going on. Maybe I'm going to be aggressive early just to figure out what I'm going to be able to do in a run early on in the going, because if you're going to do something about a run like that, Phil, you're going to have to do it early because you don't want to fall off later in the race.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on all the contenders out there. What's going to go on? Are they going to run hard? Are they going to conserve their stuff? And Joe Allen looking up through back and forth in this field, all single file through much of the top 10. But one driver on the move I've seen down to the low side of the Speedway clicking off passes is the 05, Mr. Excitement David Day. He's currently outside the top 10, but I've seen him make a 2 and 3 wide maneuver, and he's passed about 3-4 cars in these last 2 laps. The 05 on the move.
Yeah, definitely a couple names in the field. We're going to want to keep our eye on the 05 of David Days. One of them, as we see right in front of him, that number 9 of Brandon Lawson, and that beautifully painted white and red target machine. Just cleared that number 33 of Adam Kodal to move himself up into the 10th position. But see a lot of these guys single file up through the field here. We see David Schildhaus out front catching that lap car of the 85. He's going to pull down to the bottom and let these leaders go on by him. But we actually see now it looks like the 62 of Jason Justice just laid over for the 53 of Kevin McAdams there. That's usually piloted by Justin Malillo, actually, who's now sat out for this race to go ahead and take an eye in the sky type of view for this race. But we see Jason Justice being worked over now by his brother, the 21 of Derek Justice. He's going to go around and try to get by him on the outside as a lot of 2x2 racing, guys. It's definitely getting interesting, and one of the unique things about this is these guys really have the capability to go out there and turn off some laps and, get some long green flag runs in here. So we could see some tire conservation strategy come in here, fuel window strategy, a whole bunch of things that'll really change up and shake up the aspect of this race and could potentially really shake up the point standings here, depending on how some of these front runners are able to get on and off pit road if we do get to green flag pit stops here. Yeah,
and just looking around the field, these guys all stretched out. It's from first place to all the way back to 32nd place. It's well over 8 seconds in the rears. Cars falling off the lead lap. We've seen Claudio in that number 85. He's 2 laps in the rear. He checked those leaders up around that top 5, and that's one of the many things here in a long race, Todd Stanton. We stretched out in a green flag run like we are. We may see lap traffic come a-rolling. How tricky at a place like out of Homestead is it to work lap traffic here in a green flag run?
It's tricky. You got to figure out where you got to go. And the 85 way off the pace, and you see a lot of cars throughout the whole pack scatter trying to get around the number 85 there, Phil. And that's one of the struggles it's going to be. It's a real narrow track. It's not a lot of room to pass on different occasions here around the Homestead-Miami Speedway. They're making it happen, though. There is 2 distinct grooves that I see going on out there, but the 85 is trying to do his best to stay out of the way, knocking down walls in the process. But and sometimes when you're a lap car, you just got to get out of the way, as I see him move over all the way down to the apron on the back straightaway. So good maneuver by the number 85 to get out of the way. You don't want to hurt any of these guys' chances to win this race tonight.
No, absolutely not. And they're all still kind of sorted out at the front of the field, all just kind of running in a comfortable line. But just looking back to the back half of this top 10, Joe, the best race on the racetrack is around for that 9th position between the Brandon Lawson machine and Jordan Buster in that number 8 Coca-Cola machine. They were too wide for about 2 or 3 laps. Looked like that race has settled down, but that's been a great 2 or 3 car race back there. You're seeing Adam Kodal was also right there in that number 33. Those guys just running all over the racetrack. And just as we say that, it's a 3-wide battle. Here comes the 42 of Jake Poulin to the inside.
Yeah, Jake Poulin looked like he made a look down below coming off of turn 4. He settled in. We're going to be 3 wide now as the 8 is right above the top of the 42. We see the 2 Tom Sylvain. He went down to the bottom. He's not going to be able to clear anybody. We see the 33 of Adam Kodal trying to make a move now on the 9 of Brandon Lawson as they get down into turn 3 here. And there's our buddy David Day in the 05 there making headway. He's broke into the top 10. He's running in that 8th position right behind that number 62 machine of Jason Justice. So, yeah, a lot of racing all over the track, guys. And I got a little birdie from Race Control telling me that number 85, who we saw there, was really causing up a cluster and a traffic jam with some of these cars. He was asked by Race Control to go ahead and park that machine. So he's pulled that number 85 machine back behind the wall. And looks like he's one of the only machines that is retired from this race. Couple cars, couple laps down, mired in the back. But otherwise, it looks like we still got 32 drivers that are on the lead lap here, Phil.
Yeah, and a 36-car field took the green flag here 30 laps ago at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. The Asus Republic of Gamers 300 over at FTF Racing for the first time ever with the DRL network. The Jones Cup Series, probably one of the most loyal fan followings I've seen in the community here as far as what this Jones Cup Series is. Tremendous car counts each and every week. Knockout qualifying they do every Sunday night, and a full field of race cars. 36 to take the green flag tonight. 37 drivers were here to try to race tonight. 1 driver was on the DNQ list, so 36 drivers strong for 300 miles here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Championship night, championship weekend continues on DRTV. And as we look up to the front of the field, Joe Allen, looks like we've had a lead change. It's DJ, Derek Justice. We've seen him win a championship one night ago in the DRTV Premier Cup Series. He's going to assert himself here in the Jones Cup Series, one of the 4 drivers looking for that championship. And so far, so good for Derek and that GameStop machine. He's found his way now to the race lead.
He has, yeah. Derek Justice, known for being one of the better tire conservers here in the community, and he's showing more of the same in doing that. David Schildhouse was the class of the field early on in the race, but Derek saved his equipment, got himself out front. He's actually driven out to a little bit of a gap on that number 7 of David Schildhouse. We see the 28 of Ryan Williams. He's taken over that 3rd position with the 36 of Taylor Morgans. As we see these cars slowing down, it looks like we have a large accident down there on the front, or actually coming out of turn 4 here on the front straightaway. So we'll have Mr. TV Time Rich Patton get everything caught up for you guys, and we'll throw it down to him when he's ready for a replay. But yeah, so definitely a good green flag run that we had there for these guys. So we'll probably see most of these cars come down pit road. Phil, Todd, you guys thinking maybe any 2-tire strategy when these guys come down pit road, or are we thinking maybe 4 tires?
I'm thinking from here, Joe, it's got to be a 4-tire pit stop. You know, you burned off enough fuel at this point. You're probably going to put 2 full cans in. I would go 4 tires. What say you, Todd? All right, well, having some communication issues there with Todd. Not sure if I lost him off the horn. No, he's been battling some issues here all night long. So we'll get his thoughts on that here in just a minute. But looks like issues on the racetrack. It might have been around the Tristan Hagenstein machine in that number 27. Don't want to speculate too much there, but I did see him pointing in the wrong direction. I believe just kind of breezing back through. We may get a couple of Richisms here as well. I hear Rich just chuckling in my ear, so usually that means he's got a doozy to show. So we'll let him get that all sorted out. So it's gentlemen's cautions here, guys. I got to apologize to all our viewers in DRTV land tonight here on YouTube. I know the DRTV Pace fan, always one of the big hits as we get on here in the air week after week. Well, the rule at FTF with these gentlemen's cautions, guys, we're not going to see an awful lot of the van tonight, which I know is going to be to the behest of a lot of you guys out there, but it's going to make for more green flag racing the way they do it over here at FTF. The first time by, the pits will be open. Everybody will come down and get service. Next time around, the lights will go out. They'll be given the one to go signal, and they'll restart here as we're working now lap number 34 of 200 in the Asus 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Slowed now by the second caution flag of the night, and let's see what happened there. So let's step down to the booth to Rich and show us what's going on down there.
Yeah, most definitely. I hope everybody was listening to Joe Allen when we first set this show off tonight. Get your popcorn, get your drinks, and get comfortable because we're about to see some explosions. Here we go. We're going to keep our eyes on Tristan in the 27. We're going to let this run out full speed for a moment. You're going to see what happens. Right there, he paused a little bit. Not sure if anybody saw it, but basically, I believe he glitched out of the system. He's down. There he goes. Disappear right there. Right now, that car is not being controlled, it looks like. It looks like he fell out of the system. Therefore, it's a parking lot. Oh, my goodness, look out. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. We see the 27 spinning. It looks like the 47. The 52 also involved. Unbelievable. This is what happens when you play online racing. Sometimes it glitches. Sometimes things happen. Also, we see Chris Barnes got a little bit of that in the 10 as well. As we play that back out or let that run through full speed, or a bunch of cars damaged. That's all I can say. The 27 looked like the driver just got morphed out of his car. Car decides to stop on the track, and nobody was ready for that, guys. Back up to you.
All right, yeah, a lot to digest there and a lot of things going on the Speedway. Looks like we've had another casualty here as part of this yellow flag. The 47 of Sonny Tallman looked like a motor expiring there. We're going to put the 47 behind the wall, and his night is going to be done as well. But, you know, looking up and down the leaderboard, Todd, coming off of this caution flag, a developing story here. Looks like we may have had another alien abduction here tonight. Looks like there were issues with the 14 of Colin Keister. He was up in the top 5. Now he's 1 lap down. Looked like the aliens may have taken Colin away and might have spit him out, but unfortunately for him, he's going to be 1 lap in the rear.
Yeah, but fortunately he's back out on the racetrack there as the alien deductions did happen. But right now, Tom Sylvain is your current race leader. Aboard that number 2, Rick Johnson's running in that second spot in the number 93. Not sure if they came down pit road and got some service or else they just stayed out there. 21 of Derek Justice running third. Fourth is David Schildhouse. Fifth is the number 28 of Ryan Williams. Kevin McAdams in the number 53, normally driven by Justin Malolo. He is running sixth. Jake Poland is seventh in the 42. Taylor Morgan's another championship contender. He's running eighth. Ninth is the number 62 of Jason Justice. And Mr. Excitement, David Day, rounds out your top 5 right now. These guys starting to double it up here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yeah, I think that's the sign here. We're going to be one lap to go next time around, and we'll get the Asus 300 back under the green flag conditions. And as Todd said, recapping the top 10. Look like all these guys, Joe, as we talked about, come onto pit road, but I think you saw 2-tire pit stops for Tom Sylvain and for Rick Johnson. Little strategy call here and through these first 100 miles.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if they would have taken 2 tires or not, Phil. I think I saw them back on lap 33, actually. Both of those guys were on pit road, so they might have actually gotten down there on pit road before this latest caution came out and got service before the rest of these guys were able to come down there and take service. But either way, that's shaking up the leader out there as we see the number 2, Tom Sylvain, took us through the restart zone, got us back under green here. All shaken up at the back. Looks like some guys might have missed a gear, got everything all mired up, but we see the 93 of Rick Johnson. He's going to try to get around the 2 as it looks like they're going to slow back down to pace speed here, so we're probably going to get these guys lined up one more time and try this again, guys.
Yeah, they threw the caution back out on the speedway. Not sure if they just waved off the restart to let these guys get in proper formation or something went awry back in the back of the field. Looks like something going on around the 39 and the 55 machines out there of Adam Codal in the 33. And not sure who else that was back there. I know Todd got a good look at it or not, but I believe, was that the issue for the caution, Todd? An issue on the restart?
Yeah, there was an issue on the restart between the 39 and the 55. Hopefully Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, has a little bit of time to find that replay. Just one of those things, I think somebody missed the gear. I can't speculate too much. It's just one of those things that happen. I know these guys are doubling up and probably going to get ready to go back to green flag here momentarily. A lot of these guys, there was a couple cars involved, but it was an interesting scenario that some of these guys getting ready to come down pit road again. So we're going to go a couple more laps under yellow.
And Joe, I know you're really good on a restart, but just tell our viewers out there who may not know what it's like to bring one of these things up to speed under pace conditions. When you get hard on that gas pedal, how easy is it to break a gear, and how much of a disadvantage are you to the rest of the evening when you say you break your first gear on a restart?
Yeah, you know, it depends on the racetrack and the setup that's in these cars, but some of the gears are a little taller than others. But if you have a restart that requires you having first gear to really get off the line, and you rip first gear out of the transmission, then it certainly makes your night a little more difficult going forward. But you know, on the flip side, in a catch-22 there, these tires, when they're cold, really hard to grip to the racetrack. So some of these guys, you'll see their cars kind of wobble around when they try to get under power. That's trying to put the power down, but keep enough grip in those rear tires that it'll stick to the racetrack. So it's really a balancing act getting up to speed here, and you'll see a lot of guys that can master that, and those are the guys that are really good at getting good restarts and making passes here. So I think Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton's got a replay ready for you guys to show you what happened on this latest restart here that put us back under this caution. So we're going to throw it down to you, Rich.
Yeah, you know, a while back I thought I saw or heard of a NASCAR driver texting and tweeting or whatever when he's out on the track under cautions. I'm not sure if that's what Arnold is doing, but we're going to keep our eyes on the 39 of Arnold Columbia. Also keep your eyes on Mike Fallon right behind him in the 55 in that Napa machine. We're going to go ahead and let this play through full speed for a moment. We will pause it and slow it down when that stuff happens. But everybody takes off. Arnold doesn't go. 55's right in the rear end. That's going to make contact. 55 goes up, 39 goes down. And guess where the 39's going? He's heading for them barrels. Look out, Arnold. They're down there. Doesn't get close enough for them. Couple other cars trying to avoid other wrecks up on the track. Everybody else is able to get around here. It looks like everybody's able to get around the 55 and the 39. Definitely starts a traffic jam right there in front of them water barrels. And I know last night we saw somebody hit them water barrels, so they're not soft and comfy. They better watch out. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, and those water barrels, as Rich said, definitely a place that you don't want to end up. I believe it was the Rick Johnson machine in the DRTV Premier Cup Series last night that hit those barrels as well, and that didn't turn out too well for his night, which is unfortunate. But more so, we see these, or it was Ken Hansen, actually. I'm sorry, not Rick Johnson that hit those barrels. So, but actually, we see our drivers here. Looks like they're all double filed. We got spacing in line here, so looks like we're gonna give our hand at this again, Phil, and see if we can get this thing back under green. It'll be the number 2 of Tom Sylvain and that 93 of Rick Johnson there on the front row. As they come off of 4 here, they're going to take us down into the restart zone here and see if we can get this thing back under green.
Field now working its way on the back straightaway here, looking like we're going to get a restart. On the front stretch, rather, we're going to get a restart here this time. Thank you, Todd, correcting me there. Green flag up in the air. That's going to bring the Sylvain machine up through the gearbox with Rick Johnson making up that front row as they head toward turn number 1 and 2. All sorted out through that first row, but the battle is now for that second spot. The Schildhaus machine in the 7. He swings to the low side. Drag race for second, Todd, down the backstretch.
Yeah, Schildhaus down on the bottom side of the 21 of Derek Justice. He's going to try to do a 2-for deal here through corner number 3, trying to get around the number 93. Rick Johnson also through 3 and 4 here down the front straightaway. Not going to be able to pull it off here down the front straightaway. He did have position there momentarily, but now he tucks back in line behind the number 93 of Rick Johnson. Sylvain starting to run away. He's about 5 to 6 car lengths ahead of the number 93 of Rick Johnson, but the 7 of Schildhaus trying to work over the number 93 of Rick Johnson down the back straightaway, Joe.
Yeah, not sure how long that number 2 and that number 93 will be able to keep that 7 of David Schildhaus and the 21 of Derek Justice back behind them in the rearview mirror. Saw those two guys have really been dominant at the beginning of this race, but we see that number 7 still trying to work over the 93. We see a lot of 2x2 racing back behind those guys as the 62 of Jason Justice all over the back bumper of his brother, the 21 of Derek Justice, as he goes to make a move on him now. See that 24 of Cosman making a move, and the 33 of Adam Kodal trying to follow both of those guys right around the 21 of Derek Justice here. We see the 28 machine of Ryan Williams kind of settled in back there, just biding his time, but still more of the same out front. We see the number 2 of Tom Sylvain pulled out to a commanding lead down here as he takes us down the front straightaway. We see the 7 of David Schildhaus still trying to work over the 93 of Rick Johnson. Guys, how long do you think he's going to be able to keep those guys back there behind him?
Well, he's certainly really get up to the challenge right now, running that high side beautifully, as it looks like that may be the preferred line here on these restarts. These guys getting it all wound up in the high lane, and Rick doing that just to the delight of everybody out there. Is Schildhaus now trying to peek back to the low side. He's going to wash up the racetrack, maybe into that middle groove. That may move the 93 a little bit more out of the groove, but we're seeing a great side-by-side race now for second, Todd. The 93's up high, the 7 is down low. Give it to Schildhaus as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, Schildhaus, but don't count out the number 93 of Johnson. He's battling back on the top side, and that number 93 machine again. You can keep the momentum up on the high side, but that number 93 not giving away that position. Oh, so easy too. David Schildhaus in that number 7 machine. Schildhaus now back down to the bottom side. He has help from Jason Justice. Justice trying to look for a gap to get around those two. Almost made a 3 wide out of turn number 4, but down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Schildhaus has a slight advantage over Johnson. Johnson still battling back on the top side of the speedway.
Yeah, and that almost brought a 3-wide battle behind him. Justice had to roll out of the gas pedal, and that took the 33 of Adam Kodal right into the mix as well. That's now a great race between him and the Jason Justice machine. They're side-by-side for the 5th spot. Also still side-by-side racing, Joe, for that 3rd spot, rather, between Johnson and the 93, Schildhaus and the 7. Looks like the 7 of Schildhaus, he'll make the slide job, and he'll finally pick up that position, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like that 7 of David Schildhaus finally cleared the 93 of Rick Johnson. We saw the 33 of Adam Kodal make a pass on the 62 of Jason Justice there. So we got a lot of impressive and intense racing around this entire racetrack here. A lot of fans, it looks like we have out there in YouTube land for a lot of these drivers through the field. You guys have been very active, which is great to see all of the fans out there that are cheering on their favorite drivers in this race. So we're going to give a little bit of time to you guys down there. Go ahead, post in the shout box. Tell us who you're cheering for. Who are you looking for to win this championship? You got 4 drivers, obviously, between David Schildhaus, Derek Justice, Ryan Williams, and Taylor Morgan. So who are you guys cheering for to win the championship? Who are you guys cheering for to go out there and hopefully win this race? I mean, we've seen it happen. You could have a race winner that isn't a championship contender. So let your opinions and your voice be heard. Tell us who you guys are cheering for.
Yeah, and if, taking their breath away back here, guys, racing around for that third position, the battle between Rick Johnson, the 93, Adam Codal, the 33, and Jason Justice, that number 62. They were 3 wide through turns number 3 and 4 last time around. The 62 got a little bit squirrely. That brought the 24 of Cosman into the mix, and we know Cosman, Joe. We've known Cosman a long time. When he's out there, he's usually a factor before the end of one of these things, and that 24 machine, he's starting to march his way forward as well.
Yeah, always good to see Cosman having solid runs out here. I've ran a lot with Cosman in the past. He's definitely a solid driver, knows what he's doing when he's out on the racetrack, paints beautiful cars, and I can probably attest and let people know that probably half the rides that are painted up in FTF in this race in particular, and as well as all the other races that they run in this 36 race season, are probably all painted by him. He's got a whole lot of talent when it comes to stuff like that. So, you know, Cosman, definitely a good guy. He's an awesome man. We see the 33 of Adam Codal now right in front of him out the windshield. Actually, he clears the 93 of Rick Johnson as we see Cosman now making a move on the 33 of Adam Codal. A little bit of contact into turn 1 between the two of them. That'll send the 33 up into the fence, actually. Barely missing that wreck is the 93 of Rick Johnson, the 62 of Jason Justice barely skating around it. So 33 is going to try to gather himself back up here and get himself back under control and up to speed, guys.
Yeah, I certainly made contact with the outside wall, did Adam Codal and number 33, but you look out around the Speedway, Todd, these guys racing 2 and 3 distinct grooves, so sometimes you just run on a racetrack, and unfortunately for the 33, just got washed up the hill a little bit. These guys just digging for every inch of room. He's got that thing gathered up, and Adam's starting to march back forward there in that 33 now on the low side.
Yeah, we see the 21 of Derek Justice using the bottom line to his advantage. He clears his brother, the 62 of Jason Justice as well, and we see the number 7 at David Schildhouse out the front windshield. Actually, he cleared that 93 of Rick Johnson a couple laps ago. He's actually done a great job at reeling in the number 2 of Tom Sylvain, so we could have a battle for the lead shaping up here coming up within the next couple laps as well, guys. But we have a little bit of side-by-side replay review for you guys, courtesy of Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, of that incident between the 33 of Adam Codal and that number 24 of Cosman.
Yeah, guys, you know, every once in a while we like to go back and look at something that happens amazing. The 33 did some outstanding racing. Down on the bottom right side of your screen, we're going to keep our eyes on that 33 and play this out at full speed. Meanwhile, you're watching live. There's a little bit of contact. He gets that car sideways. He is literally dirt tracking it around that corner. Unbelievable. 33 gets control of it. He does bounce it off the wall, but there's a lot of cars getting under him. Tough break for the 33 as it's going to set him back a little bit as he drops through the field. But heck of a driving on Adam's part. Good job, buddy. Back to you guys.
All right, and a yellow flag now on the Speedway for the 4th time tonight. 1/4 of the distance the way home, 53 laps in. Looks like may have been some issues there with the number 8 machine. The 8, of course, tonight being piloted by Jordan Buster, that number 8 machine. Looks like maybe just something to do with a spin cycle, Todd. Not sure if you got a better look at it than I did, but that's going to put us on a yellow flag now for the 4th time tonight here, 1/4 of the way home.
Looks like there's a little bit of contact between Buster and Swartz there, and I'm not so sure. I just barely seen it. But it looks like Jordan Buster had some contact with that number 16 of Andrew Shorts, and we're going to have to see what happens, what Mr. TV Time Rich Patton will come up here and replay review. I know that they're saying sorry over the radio, so I can hear that much. So there was an incident between those two, and the drivers made some contact, and there's some damaged cars, but I'm not sure who else was involved.
So looking down toward pit road, looks like everybody's been in. Joe, 4 tires and fuel for all our front runners out there. We'll let the field all sort its way out, but with 54 laps on the board, 4th yellow flag of the night in the Asus 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Jones Cup Series over at FTF, and Rich, you've been busy here through these first quarter of this race. Show us what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully people understand what I'm saying here, but busted shorts. Think about it. Busted shorts. That's not really what we're talking about. Buster in the 8 Schwartz in the 67. We're going to keep this going as they make contact full speed ahead. They make contact right there. That's going to send Schwartz sideways down on the inside wall. He backs into the rail hard, gets that car up off the ground momentarily, smoke coming out them tires as he locks it up. Tough break for Schwartz, but I think he has been busted, guys. Back to you.
I'm not exactly sure, again, and Rich has done this to us a lot lately. Got some of these Richisms, having a little fun down there. Rich, I know we've had an awfully busy weekend, with 2 championship races, of course, the Premier Cup Series finale last night and the Jones Cup Series finale here tonight, but looks like you've been excited down there, having a good time as busy as we've been.
Man, I'm telling you, I am so excited for this weekend. We are getting to see some amazing races by 2 great leagues out here. First time we've been over here to FTF, as you guys mentioned before. But I'm telling you, there is racing all over this track tonight. I'm going crazy down here in the booth trying to keep up with you guys. We still got a ton of cars on the track. Unbelievable. These guys know how to do it, and they're doing it right in my mind.
Yeah, so far so good. Been a great race here through the first 55 laps. Recycling to the front of the field here, Tom Sylvain, he's going to restart with the lead. DJ Derek Justice off a championship one night ago in the Premier Cup Series. Looks to make it back-to-back on DRTV this weekend as far as championships go. Hoping to find his way to victory lane. Came up 1 position short last night. Can he do 1 position better tonight, Joe, and find his way to victory lane? We've still got a lot of racing here left to go. Well over 130 laps still left to go this event.
Oh, yeah, a lot of racing left in this event. A lot of racing, or a lot of hard racing, actually, early on in this event, so I expect more of the same as we get through here. Little update while we get you guys back under green here. We saw the number 8. He's going to fall to the end of the longest line here when we take the restart here, and we see the 27 of Tristan Hagenstein. He was actually our lucky dog recipient, but we are now back under green. We see the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. He's going to clear the number 21 of Derek Justice as we dive down through the middle of turns 1 and 2 here. Derek Justice going to go to the bottom, try to get a run on the number 2 of Tom Sylvain, see if maybe he can clear him or at least make a run at him as they go down through turn 3 here, guys.
Justice down on the bottom side, going to be able to complete that pass off of turn number 4. He's going to be your new race leader with the number 21 GameStop machine. He's going to get around the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. Now Sylvain is back to that second position. He's trying to battle back down on the inside in that number 2 machine, trying to go side by side here with Derek Justice. Justice now relegated back up to the top side of the speedway in that number 21 machine. He made a pass down the bottom, but I think high side is where he's conserving his tires here this evening. A lot of these guys up on the top side of the speedway, but here comes Cosman. He's down on the bottom side in the number 24 machine. He's trying to make some headway. He's now alongside the 2 of Tom Sylvain.
Yeah, Cosman rim riding, as Todd would say, down to that low side. He's underneath. He's there to that Sylvain machine. That's going to be side-by-side racing for position number 2. He may turn his attention all the way up to the race lead. A great move by the 24 of Cosman. They're going to be side-by-side for the lead in turn 3, Joe.
Yeah, Cosman's going to dive all the way down to that white line in the middle of 3 and 4 here. He looks like he's going to clear the number 21. Not sure if he'll be able to do it off the corner or not with all the momentum, but yeah, looks like he's going to clear him. He's going to slide up in front of the 21 of Derek Justice. His brother Jason Justice back there in 3rd with the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. He restarted in the lead here. He's dropped back to the 4th position. And guys, how about a sleeper in this? We see our buddy, the 05 of David Day, kind of just lurking back there at the back half of this top 5. We see the number 71 of Chris Wetz. He's a new runner up to the front here, so good to see him having a good run as well. A lot of new faces we see making their way up through the top 5 here, so a lot of competitive guys in this league as we announced early on before this event started that it's really anybody's race to go out here and win. We got a lot of repeat winners, but we got a lot of guys that are capable of going out there and running fast and keeping up with these leaders and potentially getting themselves a win.
Yeah, and it's just great racing all over the speedway. Up for the race lead, they're about 2 wide. The 33 of Adam Kodal, he's been back on the move in that 33. He's been peaking to the low side. There's great racing throughout this field. The top 20 positions separated by under 2.5 seconds. As now we have a race for the race lead. Here comes Jason Justice in that number 62. As it looks like contact on the racetrack, and that's going to put us on a yellow flag now for the 5th time tonight.
Yeah, we saw a big wreck down the front straightaway there, guys. So Rich Patton will go ahead and get that pulled up for you guys when he's ready for that. But that happened right as we saw Jason Justice go out there and take the lead away from Cosman. So new race leader, familiar face for a lot of us here that are a part of the SRA community. Jason Justice, big focal point and figure that's in this community, really the backbone for a lot of the ideas that come up through here, along with all the other board of directors out there for SRA. So good to see him having a good run. The 24 Cosman, he's having a great run. Derek Justice back there in the third position. Tom Sylvain. We see Ryan Williams. I'm not seeing any of our chase drivers involved in that accident. Really close call for Taylor Morgan's in the 36, so I'm sure that'll be an awesome replay for you guys to see how close of a call one of our chase contenders, the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, had with that accident as well. But Phil, we see all these cars coming down pit road. I really haven't seen a differential in strategy. Looks like all of these guys are looking at taking 4 tires here. Haven't seen any 2-tire strategy calls or anything like that, so tires must be really, really big here as far as being able to stay up front and contend. So I'm expecting more of the same. I'm thinking 4 tires for most of these guys.
I'm down in the 28 pit of that Haviland Chevrolet of Ryan Williams, a 6-time winner this year, and one of the guys, those 4 eligible for the championship here tonight in the Jones Cup Series. Definitely going to be 4 tires for that Haviland Chevrolet. Ryan Williams down the way. Looks like he's going to lose a couple of spots on pit road. There was a big race off the end of the pit lane, but we'll recap how they exited pit road here. But first, let's do some house cleaning. Let's get down to Rich. He's got the DRTV replay.
Yeah, boy, these guys are keeping me busy tonight. We're going to keep our eyes on Wetz in the 71, 14 Keister. Here we go. Let this run out through. Keister and Wetz make a little contact. Wetz slides out to the backside. Keister goes to the inside. It doesn't look pretty right here, ladies and gentlemen. They're facing opposite directions, heading towards some walls. We'll go ahead and play this slow motion. They both bounce off the walls. Keister's on the inside. Wetz on the outside. Everybody else is up the middle. Tough break for both of these guys. Looks like Keister almost goes back and touches Wetz one more time, and they do make contact one more time. Everybody else is able to get around him on the outside. Rumors had it. Keister is now on his Keister. He's out of the race. That's the 14. Back up to you guys.
Just going through here, looking through the lineup, these guys making their pit stops, waiting for scoring and timing the reset. Believe Jason Justice too fast down pit road in the number 62 machine. He is going to have to be relegated to the rear in that number 62 machine. Tough break for Jason Justice after having a good race going on with him. It looks like Zach Rogers is going to be your current race leader, I believe. Yeah, indeed he is. Zach Rogers now first time up front. And that number 4 machine, I believe he took 2 tires for Zach. The 21 of Derek Justice then follows. The 24 Cosman sitting 3rd. 4th is Tom Salvain. Adam Cordall in the number 33 is sitting 5th. Ryan Williams is 6th in the number 28. Mr. Excitement, David A. up to 7th. Taylor Morgan's running 8th. 9th is Maverick Morrow in the 57. It's been a while since we've mentioned that name here tonight, but the 57 of Maverick Morrow sitting 9th. Kevin McAdams is rounding out your top 10 in that number 53 machine.
Yeah, as we see these guys all lined up, getting ready for this restart here, and we all know that the terminology spacing is the FTF driver's favorite word to make fun of and use, and we all get a good laugh out of it. But as you can see, as you guys are watching this, all the spacing for these drivers to go ahead and make sure that there's plenty of room on these restarts to get good restarts underway and keep us under green flag conditions for a little bit. I know they hassle Justin Malillo and Kevin McAdams a lot for all the times that they use spacing during their drivers meetings, so that's all in good fun. But we see the number 4, Zach Rogers. He's going to probably get us back underway here as we get into the restart zone. I think he took 2 tires on that last green flag start. As he spins the tires real bad up into the outside wall there as he drag races the 21 of Derek Justice down into turn 1. The 21 of Justice, he's going to go all the way down to the bottom here as we see the 4 all the way up into the wall, into the marbles up there. He's going to be relegated all the way back, probably outside the top 10 by the time he gets himself back under speed, guys.
Yeah, that thing twitched the wrong way, and Zach Rogers got into the outside wall, and now contact on the back straightaway. It looks like it's going to put us on a yellow flag now for the 6th time tonight. So these guys having a couple of speed bumps here through the middle sections. Once we got past lap number 40, and as they say, cautions breeding cautions, and Todd Stanton looks like another multiple car wreck, and this one may keep Rich on his toes. It looks like going to be a lot there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars involved in that one down the back straightaway. 42 spun around like a top, so it's going to be interesting to see what Rich has in store for him. He's never-ending Richisms. He always has one, at least stored in his back pocket somewhere. We haven't heard most of them. I have a feeling he's going to have another Richism in this one, Phil.
Well, we'll have to let him get all queued up and ready. Is Rich Patton, week after week on DRTV, just the backbone of what we do down there in the booth. I mean, yeah, you ever seen the rig he's got down there that powers what we do here on DRTV? I mean, it's absolutely impressive. Multiple machine operation. I think he's got upwards of about 10 monitors with stuff on it that he can grab and choose. And so Rich has all the bells and whistles down there, and this picture week after week, it's phenomenal. The presentation of what we do here, Rich does a fantastic job. And as we allow him to get ready with the 6DR TV replay of the night, a multiple car incident down off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Joe, we've only put maybe about a lap and a half onto it, the heat cycle for these tires. Though, do you think we may see these leaders duck on pit road, or these tires being relatively new, are they going to stay out and elect maybe some track position?
We could see some drivers. I don't anticipate seeing a whole lot of the leaders come down pit road, but we could see some drivers that are mired back in traffic, maybe the 15th, 20th position. They might consider coming down pit road when it's open and taking tires. I mean, at that point, Phil, you really have nothing to lose. You're mired back in traffic anyways. You're not really going for any track position at that point. So, might as well switch it up a little bit as far as track position goes and strategy goes. Get yourself a little more fuel to maybe run a couple laps more than some of these guys up front if we do get a green flag run here when we get this thing back underway to, see if they can mix things up a little bit. So, doesn't hurt if you're back there, but, as we anticipated, really none of the front guys that are up in the top 10, I don't think I saw any of them duck down pit road. So I got Rich chiming in my ear that he's ready with a replay for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and throw it down to you, Rich. Let's get a replay up for these guys.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to keep our eyes on Stubbs. That's going to be the 77. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of contact between Stubbs and also Vassar in the 29. We'll play this out, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on after this. They make contact. Next thing you know, the 77's around looking in the wrong direction. Look at that. There goes the 42. Let's keep the cameras on the 42 because he is wild thing. We'll play this out. Full speed. Everybody's slowing down. Everybody's checking up. He's going the wrong way back across the track. He gets tagged by the 50. Holy cow. Look at that. Unbelievable. That's going to be Kemp in the 50. They're going to make contact. We're going to go ahead and play this through full speed. Look at the 42 spinning. He's like a spinning top. You guys mentioned it earlier. Cars are going everywhere. This is not the right place to have a parking lot, but there is one there. These guys finally get all the way around. Everybody gets pointed in the right direction, and we're keeping our eyes on Kemp now in the 50. Quite a few cars involved in this one, but everybody is finally moving again. Tough break for quite a few cars, guys, but there was a parking lot back there.
Yeah, this certainly was, and a couple of savage hits there as I went back and watched on the replay. That 50 machine, it took an absolute shot and flying up through the air, just pirouetting down, and that's never a comforting feeling. And Joe Allen, you've been on the wrong end of that, one too many times. Maybe more so Todd than yourself, as you still find the fun of these races every now and again, but certainly not the place you want to be when you have a hard hit like that up in the air and all damaged up here. And at a place like Homestead where aerodynamics can be so sensitive and so critical, that 50 car is going to be off the pace by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely the wrong side of how you want to be. You want to try to stay upright when you're in these cars, Phil. So anytime you're in the air, usually it's a very calm and chilling, feeling that you don't want to experience, at least. And usually it ends in having a very wrecked and torn up race car, and that just ruins your night for the rest of the night. But you hit on it, perfectly. A track like Homestead, mile-and-a-half oval here, definitely aero dependent, especially with the speeds that these guys are running and the passes that they're making all over, these 3 different distinct grooves that we've seen some of these guys running. So definitely something that you need to take into consideration as far as keeping your fenders on these cars to be able to stay competitive. And, we've seen that, almost to a T done really well, at least for our 4 championship drivers. We see the 7 of David Schildhouse, he's mired back probably in the 8th position or so right now, so still not too bad of a run for him. But we see the 28 of Ryan Williams, the 21 of Derek Justice, the 36 of Taylor Morgans. Most of those guys all still up towards the front of the field here, kept the fenders on their cars, and they're still going forward, guys. So still a great race, a lot of time left, but all of these championship contenders, we haven't seen a whole lot of separation between them. So I'm thinking that these guys are going to put on a hell of a show when we get down to crunch time here in the race, Phil.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where this is going to go, but we're only 1/3 of the way home. 68 laps of 200 up on the board. Been slowed by 6 caution flags so far. The Asus Republic of Gamers 300 tonight FTF Racing putting on this great finale for us on the DRL Network, the Jones Cup Series, the fastest series of sim racers here in NASCAR Racing 2003 community. These guys is lightning quick, and you're seeing it on display here for the first time on DRTV as we come over to FTF for the first time. The field is in turn number 3 and 4. Looks like we get the 1 to go signal out on the field, and looks like it's going to be Derek Justice, one of those 4 championship contenders. Won a championship one night ago as part of the DRTV Premier Cup Series. He's going to restart with the race lead with a 24 of Cosman. He's going to flank Hip up on the outside, looking for the restart. Joe, they come into the restart zone. Green flags in the air.
Yep, we see the 24 of Cosman. He's going to spin the tires. That seems to be a reoccurring trend tonight, Phil. A lot of these guys spinning the tires on cold, or spinning the tires when they're cold, and trying to get all those high horsepower cars up to speed here and getting them to stick to the track, seeming to be a little bit of an issue for some of these guys. But we see Derek Justice seems to master it and perfect it as he pulls out to a commanding lead over the 24 of Cosman. He's going to go all the way to the top here through the middle of 3 and 4, the preferred line that we've seen that number 21 at all night, as we see them dicing back and forth here between, looks like the 4th and 5th spot, as we see Tom Sylvain trying to work over the 28 of Ryan Williams, but they're all single file now as we see the 24 of Cosman try to make a move on Derek. Looks like he might actually clear him as they come off of turn 2 here, so we're going to have a new leader in that 24 Cosman, Phil.
Yeah, he's going to move his way forward, as you said, for the first time tonight under green flag conditions as we put 70 laps up on the board. It's going to be Cosman up to the race lead. Move Derek Justice back to position number 2. Adam Codal there, the number 33. Now looks like he's going to claim that second position. It's been a great race back beyond outside those top 2 positions there. Ryan Williams, the 28. And now the 05, Mr. Excitement, David Day, Todd. He's starting to move his way forward now. That's going to be a great race for 4th off of turn 2.
Yeah, David Day was in the middle. Here comes the 57, also Maverick Morrow. He's making some moves. Here comes Mr. Excitement, David Day, way down to the bottom in that 05 machine, trying to capitalize, trying to get around the number 28 of Ryan Williams. He's going to be able to complete the pass slide job maneuver coming out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Barely flirts with that wall, almost on the edge of disaster down the front straightaway. He's able to keep it righted and straighted here, and he's right now running in that 4th. Here comes Maverick Morrow, almost making a 3 wide through corner number 2. David Day now battling with Derek Justice here for that 3rd spot down the back straightaway.
And that's a great battle there for that 3rd and 4th position now between Justice at 21, David Day, the 05, Maverick Morrow, and the number 57. We've seen him go to victory lane here at Homestead one night ago, and Joe Allen, he's got that Oreo machine pointed in the right direction, and Maverick Morrow starting to pick forward. That's a great battle between him and the 21 of Derek. We've seen this same story play out last night. Now for the 4th position as they hit turn 2.
Yeah, the 57, Maverick Morrow, always a threat to come in here and win these races as he clears the 21 of Derek Justice down the back straightaway here. He'll set his sights out the windshield on the 05 of David Day as they go down into turn 3. A lot of great racing all over this racetrack, guys. As we go back up to the lead now, we see the 33 of Adam Codal dive down to the bottom. He's going to clear the 24 of Cosman coming off of 4. We got a new leader, guys, as the 33 is going to take us down into turn 1 here.
Yeah, the crowd flees. Adam Codal up there on the move in that number 33. He'll claim the race lead from Cosman in the 24. Those guys trying to run away and hide. They've got about 1 second advantage over now 3rd place David Day in the 05. Maverick Morrow, the 57, now in that 4th spot. And Derek Justice now, the first of those 4 championship chase-eligible guys, now relegated back to that 5th position as it looks like caution flag may once again be on the Speedway, Joe.
Yep, as we see all of these guys kind of fan out down the front straightaways, we're under caution here. Not sure where the accident happened. I see a couple slow cars. Looks like the number 77 of Stubbs. Looks like his rear end's all jacked up back towards the rear windshield, so I'm sure it has probably something to do with him. But we'll allow Rich some time to go ahead and keep earning his money. He's been all over the racetrack tonight, loading up replays, keeping up with us up here in the booth, giving you guys the best action that we can possibly give you for this race. So let's give you a little bit of a championship rundown real quick. We have the 21 of Derek Justice. He currently leads our championship. He's running in that 5th position. Right behind him, we have the 28 of Ryan Williams in that 6th position. Following back there, then we have the number 7 of David Schildhouse. He's running in that 8th position. And the 36 of Taylor Morgans is back there in the 9th position. So there's your 4 championship contenders as it stands right now. That 21 of Derek Justice would be crowned your champion, but we are only lap 75 of 200 of this event, so we still got a long way to go in this race, guys. But still, everybody out there putting on a fantastic show, and we're going to go ahead and throw this down to TV Time Rich Patton. He's got a replay queued up as to why we are under this most recent caution.
Yeah, sorry about that. Had to get the right button going. We're going to keep our eyes on Erdman in the 17 and also Poland on the 42. They're going to make a little bit of contact halfway through this caution. We're going to switch things up because there's more action to keep our eyes on. We'll let this go through. The 42 gets into the wall. The 17 to 42 make contact. That's going to turn the 70 or the 17 into the wall right with the 42. But here comes more cars. We're going to move our camera back to the 77. That's going to be Stubbs. Stubbs is going to try to lock them up, but guess what? The 50 behind him, Kemp, didn't realize what was going on so soon. It's going to tag Stubbs in the back end. That's going to send Stubbs down to the inside wall. Unbelievable damage on that car. He slammed the back end of that car up into the wall down on the apron, and he is in the spin cycle, as they say, down on the apron, trying to get that car to finally come to a stop. But now, guys, he's in a compact. Stubbs is driving a stubby car. Look at that.
Man, once again, the thoroughbred of the replay. No dog and pony shows here. Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, in the DRTV control booth, keeping us on our toes with all the Richisms and whatever the witty criticism you can come up with as he's down there in the booth doing a great job here. Been slowed now by 7 yellow flags for the first 76 laps. 200 laps make up 300 miles at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. The Asus 300 for our friends at FTF Racing, a partner to DRTV as part of the Sim Racing Association. Check out the brand new SRA website, simracingassociation.com. There's a direct link to FTF and all the great leagues associated with the SRA. A lot of great stuff happening there. So simracingassociation.com. Check out the all-new website dedicated to all things SRA and links up to DRTV's website, drlnetwork.com there as well. So much great stuff going on there. So much great stuff happening here on the racetrack as we look down toward pit road. Saw all the race leaders, Joe, come on and off pit road. Looks like it was still 4 tires, so nobody really wanting to play their way as far as a gamble with a 2-tire pit stop there, and I'm kind of shocked by that. I'm surprised somebody like, say, a Brandon Lawson, who was up near the front of the field here in the first 30, 40 laps, he's relegated to now outside the top 20. I'm really, kind of just taken back by that some of these guys have not taken 2 tires to try to move their way back forward.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some of these guys that early on took those 2 tires, Phil. They were able to stay up there for a little bit, but, eventually they looked like they got swallowed up. But big standings implication here. We actually saw the 28 of Ryan Williams ducked back down pit road a second time, so that's going to mire him back in traffic now well outside the top 20 is what it's looking like. So definitely a shake-up for him. Should be interesting to see how long it takes him to maneuver his way up through traffic and get back up here into the top 10, which we know he's capable of doing. It's just a matter of hoping that he can avoid the wrecks when they happen, because as of now, from what we've seen during the race at least, guys, most of the wrecks that we're seeing have been happening about mid-pack back. We haven't really seen a whole lot, with a couple exceptions up towards the front of the field. So definitely a big gamble for him going back down a second time, and hopefully he can get back up through the field here without getting any significant damage or any problems.
So it looks like we may be coming to the restart here as they've been doubled up for about 3/4 of a lap. So they work their way off of turn number 4, awaiting their arrival into the restart zone. They're on the gas pedal, Todd. Green flag in the air.
They put that loud pedal down. It's on the right, and they're going green flag racing down here into turn number 1. It looks like the 33 of Adam Colo is going to be up front here in that number 33 machine, as I'm stuttering on his name, and I probably just got it wrong. But the 5 of Mr. Excitement, David Day, running in that second spot. Third is the number 21 of Derek Justice. Justice right now is in a battle with the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Now Morrow back up to third. Here comes Cosman. He is alongside the 21 of Derek Justice down the front straightaway. They're side by side coming into corner number 1.
Yeah, side by side for position. Looks like about number 4 is Cosman and Derek racing great there for position. That brought the likes of Tom Sylvain in the 2, the 36 of Taylor Morgans. They're side by side racing for that 6th position, Joe, as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, we see the 36 Taylor Morgans go all the way down to the bottom. He's cleared the 2 of Tom Sylvain. He's going to go after the number 21 of Derek Justice, clear him as they come off of turn 4 here. Derek Justice is going to try to keep all that momentum. He's going to be all over the back bumper of Taylor Morgans as they dive down here into turn 1 here. So a lot of crazy racing all over this racetrack, actually, as we see the 7 of David Schildhouse out the rear windshield. Now, he took it 3 wide on Tom Sylvain and the number 21 of Derek Justice. David Schildhouse won't quite clear that number 21 machine, but he's definitely going to have the preferred line here on these new tires as he goes down into the bottom here. Might be able to clear that number 21 as they come off of turn 4 here, Phil.
Yeah, and that one of those cars on the move there. I'm seeing the 29 of Matt Vassa made an evasive move from the high lane to the low side. He almost got the run around that 21 of Derek Justice. Vassa now working to the low side, trying to follow Vasshouse teammate David Schildhouse through the field. Now he's going to peek to the low side of the 7. They're almost 3 wide, Todd, off of turn 2.
Yeah, great battle going on through the middle portion of this pack here, and as the leaders are starting to run away and hide, it's not even the middle portion. It's between the top 10, top 15 of these cars. These guys putting on one whale of a show, 2 and 3 wide. Schildhouse now back down to the bottom side of the 036. Morgan's coming down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Schildhouse right now down on the bottom. The 036 Taylor Morgan showing the muscle up on the top side of the speedway. Remember, you can stay in the throttle a little bit longer up top, but it looks like Schildhouse is going to use that slide job in front of the number 036 of Taylor Morgan's, push Schildhouse to that 5th spot.
Yeah, that's great racing there for that 5th position. But we look back up toward the front of the field. It's Adam Codal, that number 33, trying to run away and hide. He's got about a 4-car length advantage on David Day next time by as they hit the start-finish line to put lap number 83 up on the board. Maverick Moto is right there in that number 57, and it's Cosman in that number 24. He's up to position number 4, but looks like, Joe, the fastest car on the racetrack is pertaining to that top 5. May indeed be that 05 of David Day. He is on the move looking for the race lead.
Yeah, we see David Day all the way up into that upper middle groove there as he's looking to keep the power down and keep the RPMs up as he's stalking that number 33 of Adam Codal going down the front straightaway, probably trying to set himself up for a run as he's going to go to the top side of the 33 here as we go through the middle of 1 and 2. Definitely going to set himself up for a run off of the corner here, but it looks like actually we are going to be back under another caution here as these guys start slowing down on the back straightaway. I'm hearing that it's looking like it's probably the 77 that went around in the back, so we'll give Mr. TV Time Rich some time to get that queued up for you guys. But, you know, something I wanted to touch on with you, Phil and Todd, is not seeing a whole lot of give and take early on, especially for some of these championship guys, actually. You know, nobody's giving anybody any freebies or anything. They're making everybody earn it out here, which is a great sight to see. Nobody's pulling over and you know, just giving it to these guys. They're making them earn it, and that's what it's all about. It's all about making these guys go out there and earn it. That's what we do this for.
Well, that's one of the things that sets FTF apart. You know, the reputation they have is these guys are fast. They like to race hard. They'll mix it up every lap. Doesn't matter if somebody's in contention for a championship or they're just out there making laps on a limited schedule per se. But these guys so far delivering up to the billing, but unfortunately now under caution flag for I believe the 7th time this evening. And I believe Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, is ready with a replay. So let's stub it down to Rich.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on the 77 of Stubbs. He's already running a little bit damaged after dancing with the walls a little bit earlier. We're going to keep our eyes on him as he runs this out. Coming through the corner, he's drifting up just a little bit. Looks like things might have got a little loose. No, he got a little bit of contact with the 1. The 42 breaks, gets off of him, but he's still slowing down. The 77 is way off pace. 27 finally makes his way around him. 77 tries to avoid it. That's going to upset the cars, puts him in the spin cycle going down the front stretch. Tough break for Stubbs, once again involved in a caution. That car is just junk. Look at the back end of that thing. Unbelievable. But good thing was everybody was able to get around him, and it looks like Stubbs has pulled that behind the wall, guys. Back up to you.
As we're going through a little bit about the FTF, just a little bit about the background. I know a lot. This is our first time on DRTV, and FTF provided us with a ton of information here about the background of FTF and stuff that's been going on. We got a lot of information at our fingertips, and we really do appreciate that. Justin Malolo and his admin staff worked very, very hard to get us some information together here for this event here tonight. FTF Racing was founded back in 2008 as a racing team consisting of Ryan Naraki, CJ Bowie, and Justin Malolo. The FTF Racing team competed in money races called the Open Speedway Turkey Run against 33 other drivers. CJ Bowie, Ryan Naraki, and Justin Malolo did 1, 2, 3. The team earned a collected total of close of like $1,000 between the three of them in that big race that they had going on there. Fast forward to now, FTF Racing has become part of the NASCAR 2003 community that brings much realism to the table, and it can, along with a lot of other fun and strong competition in its drivers lineup. FTF Racing has been league is in its beginnings as an IndyCar league in 2009, but it came into the forefront with its new Super Speedway series in 2013. In 2015, FTF began the FTF Cup Series on Sunday nights, with the majority of the racers beginning full fields. They had knockout qualifying in a lot of these fields, guys, and a lot of interesting stuff going on in FTF. This league is rather new still, but going really, really strong. And as you can see that this evening, some of the fastest drivers here at FTF, and we've said that all evening long. These guys are putting on one whale of a show. That's just a little bit of background on that at FTF and how it started. Justin Malolo and all of his admin staff have done a great job providing us with information, and so far these drivers have put on one whale of a race so far.
Yeah, and we're 86 laps in. I know we've been slowed by a lot of caution flag here through these first 150 miles, but I think we're going to see a lot of great racing here as this race stretches out toward its conclusion here. 86 laps up on the board. Looks like the restart, it's going to be the 67 of Andrew Schwartz. He's raced in this series much of the season, still has yet to find his way to victory lane. He's going to restart with the race lead alongside our good buddy, Mr. Excitement, David Day in the 05. He's going to restart on the inside lane. They're going to look for the restart. Green flags in the air, Joe.
Yeah, 67 Andrew Schwartz with a great restart there, guys, as David Day now under attack from the 33 of Adam Kodal. He's going to slam the door on the 33, try to get a run on the 67, guys. Not sure if the 67 came down pit road or not. As we see the 5 of David Day, he's going to get a huge run down the backstretch. Might be able to clear him as they dive down into turn 3 here. So not sure how long the 67 can stay up there and hold off some of these guys on fresh tires or not, but David Day is going to come out, clear him off of turn 4 here. He's going to resume the lead as they go down the front straightaway, as we see a battle for that 4th spot between the 7 of David Schildhouse, the 24 of Cosman. We see the 57 of Maverick Morrow back there stalking the rest of this field. So, yeah, guys, a lot of good 2x2 racing all over this racetrack. We see the 36 of Taylor Morgans. He's up there in the 8th position. He's second in our championship standings right now, followed by the 21 of Derek Justice. And then looking back through the field, we see the 28 of Ryan Williams last time by. He was down in the 20th position, still trying to make up a bunch of track position that he lost when he went back down pit road over that last pit cycle. So, we see now it looks like the 33, Adam Kodal, he's going to dive down to the bottom, try to see if he can maybe get a run on David Day here as they come off of turn 2, Phil.
Yeah, they're looking at Kodal machine, as you said, trying to make that run on the outside or on that 05. And we know David Day, he's going to let that thing hang out and drift up the racetrack as high as he can. He opens that door this time through turns number 4. Kodal looking to the inside in the 33. Not quite going to have the momentum there. He's going to fall back in line, but just looking all over the Homestead-Miami Speedway. These guys are just straightened. You know, these guys are separated all over the Speedway, racing on the top, racing on the bottom, in through the middle. And one guy on the move, he's rocketing through that top 5. The 24 of Cosman, he's starting to pick them off one at a time. He's made his way through around the 7 of Schildhouse, and Todd Stanton, he's moving forward as those guys now battling for the race lead off of turn 4.
And now there's a battle for the race lead there momentarily. David Day able to stay in the throttle a little bit longer on the high side. Still able to continue to lead this race in that 05 machine. The number 33 of Kodal, Adam Kodal, still in that 2nd spot. He's trying to go on the bottom side once again, not able to pull that pass off. Cosman running into that 3rd spot. 4th now is Maverick Morrow in that number 57 machine. He's having a good run. Here comes the number 29 of Matt Vassar. Vassar making his way up inside the top 5 here as he gets around the number 7 of David Schildhouse. Schildhouse now drops back to the 6th position as Andrew Schwartz is still sitting in 7th in that number 67 machine.
Yeah, we see David Schildhouse under attack now by the 67 of Andrew Schwartz. He's looking like he might be falling back to that 7th position, guys. So, something that I've noticed, you know, we had guys of the likes of Derek Justice and Ryan Williams and Taylor Morgans, and a lot of those guys that were up here dominating the top 4 or 5 spots early on in this race have all kind of filtered down. You know, Ryan Williams obviously mired back in traffic after that last pit stop that he took. See Derek mired back around the 9th position. It looks like Taylor back in the 8th position. So not really factors up there running for that race lead. We've seen a lot of Adam Kodal in that number 33 battling for the lead up here, and we see David Day taking a commanding lead out front. So couple new faces up towards the front of this pack. Cosman's been up there the majority of the race, which is good to see. Maverick's always a threat up there, been running around the top 5. Good to see Matt Vassar in that 29 up there battling it out. See the 4, Zach Rogers back there in the 10th position. He was mired back in traffic way early in this race, used 2 tires to try and get himself some track position, ended up in the fence. So a good rebound for the 4, Zach Rogers, who's up in the 9th position right now, holding his own in front of that 21 of Derek Justice, actually. So couple new faces. We see the 62 of Jason Justice. He's back in the 12th position. He was running up front early on in this race. So couple of the fan favorites that were out there, guys, mired back in traffic here. So should be interesting to see how long it takes some of these guys to, work their way up through the field here and maybe get themselves back up into a top 5 position here, maybe battling for the lead.
Yeah, and that Zach Rogers machine, that number 4, guys, he is on the move. As you said, that's racing inside the top 10. He was currently scored 9th last time around, but he's been looking to make war up there with looks like the likes of Andrew Swartz in the 67. Also see Taylor Morgan's the 36 now, just up ahead as well. So that's great racing around for that A spot, Todd. But one of the great things they do here at FTF is we're closing in on the halfway marker here in this Asus 300 here at FTF. A lot of awards these guys have handed out here this week. We talked about Brandon Lawson winning the most popular driver here last night at FTF, but there's so much stuff here that they do to celebrate their drivers and to engage all these guys. I know you got the sheet in front of you here. Talk about like the Sportsman Awards and all the awesome stuff that Justin and all the guys do here at FTF.
Yeah, the Sportsman Award this year was given to a driver of the number 92, that's Matt Durr, on winning the Sportsmanship Award. The award was funded by an anonymous member of FTF Drivers Council and is awarded to Matt tonight because Matt is the definition of a clean competitor. Having raced every race this season, Matt Durr has not been the cause of a single wreck this season. Although his championships open ended last week at Phoenix, he didn't get that far by just being fast. Durr raced hard for every position on the track and was always clean about it. And that exemplifies and qualities that every driver should have. Thank you, Matt Durr, for being a stand-up gentleman. Thank you for supporting FTF Racing. Matt will also receive an engraved plaque for a Sportsmanship Award. That's one of these great things that they do at FTF. I know Vass House Racing was another one who won the Team Championship Award. I know there's another thing, as long as Derek started the race here for the Team XSR Ford, driven by Derek Justice, and the 28 Vass House. Those two were actually fighting in for this race tonight for that championship. And like we said, the most popular driver was coined Brandon Lawson here. And if you haven't got a chance to check it out, Brandon Lawson did do a thank you out there to everybody in YouTube land, or even Facebook land, I should say. He did a Facebook. He thanked everybody for his award, and he had a lot of great things to say about the SRA community, FTF, and a lot of the drivers and everybody that voted for him. So if you haven't got a chance to check that out, that's on the FTF Racing's Facebook page. And it was a stand-up interview, I'll tell you that. He did a great job with it, Phil.
No, he certainly did. Another guy certainly doing a great job here in this Asus 300 now, officially at the halfway mark, is our new race leader, the 05, Mr. Excitement, David Day, starting to drive away from these guys, Joe Allen. 1.2 seconds last time by, and he is gaining ground. He is absolutely on the move. He is a rocket ship out there. You're seeing these guys all juking and jiving through the top and through the bottom, racing for second place on back, but that 05, he's just starting to make way on these guys and just drive away.
Yep, David Day continuing to tack off laps here. Gap shrunk by merely a half of a point, if even that. He went down to 1.27 there over the 24 of Cosman. We see the 57 of Maverick Morrow really working over the 24, trying to see if maybe he can move himself into the second position as well, guys. So actually, and then behind them, we see our championship contender, the 7 of David Schildhouse. He's on the bottom there. He's going to clear the 29 of Matt Vassar there and set his sights forward on the 57. We see Taylor Morgan's battling with the 33 of Adam Kodal. He'll set his sights forward on the 29 as well. So a lot of action all over this racetrack, guys. We see the front 3 or 4 guys kind of single file there, just trying to put laps down. We see the 05 of David Day, he's still maintaining his lead out front. Seems that the laps that he continues to put down are just making him better as he goes along. He's utilizing that top line as, we see 3 distinct lines, guys. We see some guys using the bottom, some guys using the middle, some guys using the top. I think it's really driver preference at this point as far as what line's the better one, because we've seen guys like David Day, like Derek Justice, be able to use that top line and be really fast using it. And then we see guys like Maverick Morrow, guys like David Schildhouse that can put their car down on the bottom white line and be really fast doing that as well. And then we see some guys that are able to use the middle groove. So I don't know that there's really a favorite predominant groove throughout this race yet. There's 3 distinct grooves that seem to be working for different guys based on their driver's preference.
Yeah, and I'm thinking one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. He was like 8th a few laps ago. He's now charged his way up, battling for the 4th spot. Those 2 front guys there racing for 4th. They'll be the head of that championship race right now, and that's Taylor Morgan's in that number 36, Todd. He's starting to march his way forward. He's side by side with David Schildhouse. Derek Justice as well in the 21 there. That's 3 guys racing for a championship, racing for 4th on the Speedway.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan's one of those type of drivers. He saves his tires. I've seen many of races where Taylor Morgan saves his tires, and then late on the run, you see him coming right to the top of the charts. And right now, that's one of these races where Taylor Morgan has saved some of the stuff here. As David Day in the 05 almost wrecked here down the front straightaway, that left the door wide open. He actually now is being challenged for the race lead now between the 24 of Cosman and the 05 of David Day. David Day down on the bottom side right now. He's trying to fight back with the 24 of Cosman, but I think Cosman going to be able to overtake the 05 of David Day. David Day got into the wall in that number 05 machine. Here comes the 57 of Maverick Morrow looking to capitalize on that as Morrow now into that 3rd spot. Taylor Morgan's is 4th, and 5th is the 21 of Derek Justice. He's in a huge battle with the number 7.
Yeah, we see Derek Justice under attack by that number 7 of David Schildhouse. He's going to try to take that position and set his sights on the 36 of Taylor Morgan's for that championship lead, but not going to be able to do it. Derek's going to power on the top side, but moving back towards the front here, we see the 5 of David Day trying to fight back the 24 of Cosman. We saw David just push the limits up there when he was up against the wall, and we're going to have Rich actually pull that up side by side for you guys to see. So let's go ahead and throw it down to Rich real quick.
Yeah, guys. Oh. Sorry about that. Flipping the wrong screens. We're going to keep our replays on the right-hand side, live versions up on the left-hand side. We're going to keep our eyes on that 5 of David Day. Let this play out in full speed. He's got one heck of a lead on everybody. He is running that high side. He gets a little too close to the wall, gets into the marbles. That wall reaches out and grabs him a little bit, gets his car upset. He's able to lock them brakes up for a moment, get down on the apron, regather it, and next thing you know, he's right back up in the front, but he has lost that lead, and now you guys see where we're at now, fighting the 24 for the lead of this race. Back to you.
All right, so this is the excerpt there of the 05 David Day up into the wall, surrendering the race lead now at the 108 lap mark. Cosman in that number 24 is your current race leader. David Day relegated now back to that 2nd spot. Maverick Morrow 3rd. Taylor Morgan's 4th. Derek Justice, your current top 5. David Schildhouse, another championship contender. Those 3 guys right there, 4 through 6, all in the battle for the Chase Championship at FTF. But recapping, an update on the Ryan Williams machine. He is, of course, that 4th driver with that tail, nose, and the spoiler. He's starting to move forward. He restarted a few laps ago. He was around that 20th place, guys. He's had to march his way forward through all this heavy traffic. The 28 Ryan Williams, a 6-time winner, has found his way now up to position number 12. And Joe Allen, that's certainly going to be a helpless feeling for a guy like Ryan, racing for a championship, having to restart deep in the field. And now with the benefit of a long green flag run, able to maneuver his way through traffic. But he's got so much time here he's got left to make up. And now looks like pit road is open. Green flag pit stops are not going to be underway.
Yeah, we saw the 24 of Cosman. Looked like he dove down pit road, so wondering if maybe he, if these are scheduled green flag pit stops or if this is just trying to cut a run in half. We're not entirely sure, but more back to the race lead here. We see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's going after the 5 of David Day. Not sure if maybe David has a little bit of damage that might be impeding his race car when he got up into the fence there, so not entirely sure, but it's definitely not the same it was as he actually gets up into the wall coming off a 4 here. That'll open the door for the 21 of Derek Justice, who now is going to actually dive down to the bottom of the 36 of Taylor Morgan. So a lot of racing going around this racetrack, guys. We see Taylor all the way up to the top side of the track here. Derek Justice is going to clear him coming off a 2 here, as we see David Day now is actually going to try to attack the 36, but he's actually going to give way and fall in suit behind the 36 here, guys.
Yeah, and it's tremendous racing here. Just trying to peek toward pit road to see when these race leaders start diving in. Saw Cosman come in there with 4 tires and fuel. He's down and away aboard that number 24. The 29 of Matt Vassar, the 28 of Ryan Williams, amongst those that have all come down pit road. Now a great race up for the race lead. Taylor Morgan's just stuck that white and red machine to the bottom. He's going to make his way now maybe around the 21 of Justice. They're going to be racing for the side-by-side, Todd, into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like Justice right now able to pull away from the number 36 of Taylor Morgan as we're coming through turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, Phil, is the 21 is still leading this race. Morgan's trying to get down to the bottom side. Taylor Morgan is now back down to the bottom. Justice way up on the top side in that number 21 machine. Looks like he got a little bit loose in the 21, get a little bit squirrely. That may leave the door of opportunity open for the 36. It is indeed going to do so. Taylor Morgan is now back to the race lead here in the 036 machine. Justice running second. It looks like yellow flag may be out here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yep, looks like the caution has come out on the Speedway here according to race control. That's actually going to mix things up, guys. We were right in the middle of green flag pit stops there, so that's really going to shake things up as far as who might be mired a lap down, who might not be. Could have a bunch of wave around drivers depending on who comes down pit road. So looks like I'm seeing a C, which usually for all you guys that aren't familiar with how leagues work, if you put a C out in the chat window, you're probably claiming your caution. So looking like the 18 of Dylan Smith might be claiming that. Not entirely sure, but we'll get another word from race control as far as when that comes down to it. But we see the number 20 or the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. He has reclaimed the lead from the 21 of Derek Justice, the 5 of David Day back there in the 3rd position. He might have a little bit of damage from when he got into the wall. His car definitely was not the same when he got out of shape. Might have damaged the tires a little bit as well from that little slide. The 57 of Maverick Morrow back in the 4th position. We see the 7 of David Schildhouse. He's in the 5th position. The 53 of Kevin McAdams back in the 6th position. The 62 of Jason Justice is in that 7th position. We see the 27 of Tristan Hagenstein. He's having a great run. Got himself up to the 8th position after having troubles early on in this race. The 8 of Jordan Buster is back in that 9th position. He looks like he might have been on pit road. He's shown as 28 seconds behind before this caution came out. And then we have the 33 of Adam Kodal. He's back in that 10th position. So not sure how many of these guys might be falling under a lap down here based on how these caution flags fell and with with these green flag pit stops. But we see most of these leaders dive down pit road here. So we're going to go ahead and throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. He's got a replay queued up for us as to why we're under this most recent caution.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. There's a lot of chatter going on the radios, a lot of things going on the chat box on YouTube. A lot of people are calling for the 18, so we're keeping our eyes on the 18, and you hit the nail on the head. It is the 18. We're going to keep this on track, keeping our eyes on Dylan Smith as he's coming off of the pit entrance or pit exit road back up onto the track. It looks like him and the 77 make contact right there. It's all about merging up onto the track. Not sure if he saw him coming, might have been in his blind spot or but we'll go ahead and play that out. The 18 and the 77 make a little bit of contact. That's going to send the 77 into the wall. The 18's going down towards the inside wall. Looks like he's in spin cycle, slow motion mode as he's heading down towards the inside wall. Looks like he's going to smack the front end of that car right into the inside wall. Meanwhile, he's still spinning. Everybody else up on the track able to get around. Dylan Smith stuck down on the apron. Finally comes to a stop. Going to be some heavy damage on the front end of that vehicle. Tough break for Dylan Smith. Back to you guys.
All right, working now, caution flag number 9, working lap number 115. So we are past the halfway marker, approaching that 200-mile mark in the Asus Republic of Gamers 300 tonight at FTF Racing, the first time for DRL Network. Over to our friends at FTF, a partner to us inside the Sim Racing Association, and great to come out. And big kudos to Justin Malello, Kevin McAdams, all the crew over here at FTF. They have given us a wealth of information at our fingertips here tonight. So much great stuff, so much background, driver bios. We barely scratched the surface of these driver bios yet, and we'll certainly look to do these due diligence here through the last couple of laps of this race here. Now about 116 laps on the board, but these guys all coming on toward pit road amongst those on the lead lap. But as you talked about, Joe Allen, these guys who got trapped one lap down in the rears, guys that were heavy hitters like the Ryan Williams of the world that are racing for a championship, Matt Vassar, Tom Sylvain, Andrew Swartz, those guys who have been fast all night long. Looks like we're going to see a lot of wave around drivers, and that's going to change the complexion of this race, watching those guys have to charge now from deep in the field.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at our standings really quick, we see guys of the likes Chris Wetz, the 9 of Brandon Lawson, the 28 of Ryan Williams, the 29 of Matt Vassar, the 67, that is the machine of Andrew Swartz, The number 4, that's Zach Rogers. The 40, that is Doug Denise. The number 2, the number 55, a lot of those drivers all looking like they're probably going to take the wave around here, because our leader is actually the 33 of Adam Kodal, and he's actually lined up probably, God, I'd say 12, 13 cars back behind where the first car is lined up in line here. So a lot of drivers that are going to be taking the wave around, guys, and implications for how some of that stuff works. Some of these drivers got to wonder how many laps they have on their tires, at least from when they made their pit stops. I'm thinking at least 2 or 3 laps. So definitely something that is going to shake this up when we get back under green, depending on how tire wear and tire strategy works. But we see all these guys looking like they're lining up here now, Phil, getting their spacing all sorted out as we allow these wave around drivers to go ahead and get caught up to the rear of the field here. So definitely going to be an interesting shakeup when we get back under green here to see how some of these guys that take the wave around, like Ryan Williams, who is one of our championship contenders, how he's able to fend and fare, when we get back under green here. And hopefully he can keep up with some of these faster guys to keep him in at least the championship contention.
Well, he had to restart, one restart ago. He restarted back in about that 20th spot, Joe, and racing for a championship. And with just the high caliber of field you have here week after week as part of the Jones Cup Series at FTF, he's had to march his way now. Going to look like he's going to restart about that 14th position. So he's going to be 6 positions better. But when you get to the toward the front of one of these things, the competition level absolutely is going to pick up. So we'll have to follow the excerpts of that 28 of Ryan Williams, a 6-time winner this year on the Jones Cup Series, comes in that final 4. It's championship night once again on DRTV. It's been championship weekend for us with our flagship series, the Premier Cup Series one night ago, and the big one tonight, the Jones Cup Series, the first trip to FTF for us here on the DRL network. The field working its way now off of turn number 4, awaiting the restart. It's going to be Adam Kodal in the 33. Taylor Morgan's that 36. They're going to restart with the lead, Todd Stanton, as we wait that loud pedal to go down. Still here, a lot of racing left to go.
Yeah, they worked their way inside the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're back racing here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway with the number 33 of Adam Kodal leading them down here into turn number 1. But here comes Taylor Morgan's in that 036. He's battling back down to the inside here. Championship contender trying to stay in front of that number 21 of Derek Justice. Justice running 3rd. But here comes Taylor Morgan's back down to the bottom side once again. Kodal, interesting fact about that number 33 machine, he has set the fastest lap all evening long.
Yeah, we see the number 5 of David Day all over the back bumper of the 36 going down the front stretch. See the 33 Adam Kodal all out the front windshield here, looking to see if he can put some distance between these guys. We see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's under fire from the 5. David Day is going to duck to the bottom here going down the back straightaway, guys. He's going to try to clear the 36 as they drag race down into turn 3. Looking back behind them, we see David Schildhouse under attack from the 62 of Jason Justice. He's looking to set his sights forward as David Day clears that pass on the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. He's looking for the 33 of Adam Kodal now to try and put himself back out front and see if maybe he can put some distance on the field like he did during that last green flag run. So see the 33 dive all the way down to the bottom. David Day goes all the way to the top with the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, who's now under fire from the 62 of Jason Justice, guys, and the 7 of David Schildhouse kind of just hanging out in the back behind the 62. We see the 21 of Derek Justice. He's been passed by the 2 of Tom Sylvain. 24 of Cosman's going to make a move on the 21, so Derek's dropping back too. So a lot of shakeups and mix-ups through the field, guys.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my eye in particular, Joe, on that number 62 of Jason Justice. I know how many times in a big race field here on DRTV have we seen Jason Justice go toward victory lane, and we've seen him in the top 5 in the early stages. He floated back outside the top 10 through the middle here, and now at lap number 120, he's starting to pick his way back forward. That 62 on the move up to position number 3, but he's certainly got great battles going on all around him. Taylor Morgan's, David Schildhouse, those guys have been right on his bumper these last couple of turns, but throughout this top 5, Todd, these guys certainly seem to be all kind of sorted out right now, just kind of to making laps around the speedway, but looking around, it's Adam Kodal out front and starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, David's starting to pull away from the 05 machine of David Day, who is running that second spot. The 62 is running in 3rd. 4th is the 036 of Taylor Morgan's. Morgan's on the top side. Here comes Schildhouse down to the bottom side. That's a battle for that 4th spot.
Yeah, we see the 7 of David Schildhouse all over the back bumper of the 36. That's our championship race right there as well. We have a race within a race, essentially, is what we got going on. So the 7 of David Schildhouse trying to work over the 36. Not going to have anything for him as we see the gap up front actually close a little bit. We see the 5 of David A trying to catch the 33 of Adam Kodal. That's under half a second. David Day working the top side there, trying to reel in the 33 as best as he can, as we see Jason Justice trying to run down both of those guys. Taylor Morgans is back there in that 4th position. He's starting to put a little bit of distance between himself and the 7 of David Schildhouse. We have the 24 of Cosman. He's back there. The 2 of Tom Sylvain starting to work his way forward, Phil. So a lot of guys that we saw mired back in traffic a little bit through the middle of this event are starting to make their way back towards the front as we continue to click laps off here as we're getting ready to finish lap 123 and start lap 124.
Yeah, that's for certain there. As you're seeing all these fast, heavy hitters, updating that Tom Sylvain machine, that number 2. I thought he was marching his way back to the field, Joe. He's still trapped 1 lap down. He was one of those guys who was trapped behind our race leader. So that number 2 machine of Tom Sylvain, 25th position, but one of the faster cars on the racetrack, mixing it up with them leaders. But there are 24 drivers here left on the lead lap, all chasing Adam Kodal in that number 33, David Day in the 05, Jason Justice in that 62, and then back to our first of those final 4 championship drivers. It's Taylor Morgans, David Schildhouse right there battling for that 4th position, Joe Allen, and so far single file amongst them 2 guys, but certainly waiting for it here to heat up in these next couple of laps.
Yeah, a lot of single file action up towards the front. We see a lot of 2x2 racing in the back here as I'm just going through the back here. A lot of 3-wide racing. We see actually it looks like one car just self-spun down the back straightaway. That looked like the 72 of Chris Wetz. So a lot of racing all over the speedway here. No caution as these guys continue under green flag conditions. I'm sure Rich will be able to cue that up for you guys so you can watch it back. We'll get a side-by-side going for you guys. But as we go back up through the field here, we see the 7 of David Schildhouse. He's on the bottom, still trying to work over the 36 of Taylor Morgans. 62 of Jason Justice, still trying to run down the 5 of David Day. As the 33 of Adam Kodal still out front here, Phil, just leading the way as we're clicking off the laps, trying to get down to lap 200.
Still a lot of racing here left to go. 127 laps of 200. 300 miles here, the distance at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Jones Cup Series, a championship night. 4 drivers coming into the evening with hopes of a championship. Taylor Morgans, David Schildhouse, Derek Justice, and Ryan Williams. 4 of the heaviest hit of the hitters here over here at FTF Racing. So far, so good for these guys under green flag conditions. Been slowed so far by 8 caution flags in the event, but as we approach lap number 130 here, they're stretched out all over the speedway, and as Joe said, all chasing that number 33 of Adam Kodal. He's got about a 12-car length advantage over David Day, Joe, as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, saw David Day switch up his line a little bit going through 1 and 2 there. Phil went down to the bottom there to see if he can make up a little bit of time. The gap is now fallen down to about half a second here as the 62 of Jason Justice still trying to reel in both of those guys. Taylor Morgan still out front of the 7 of David Schildhouse trying to maintain his championship position. So that could be a battle that could be shaken up here within the next couple of laps and definitely as we get down towards the end of this race. But we reported a little bit earlier some troubles for the 71 of Chris Wetz. So I believe TV Time Rich down there in the booth has a side-by-side replay for you guys. So we'll throw it down to him real quick.
Yeah, live action up on the top left, replay action down on the bottom right. We're going to keep our eyes on what's in the 71. Has a tough break, doesn't pull a caution. We'll watch this in full speed. Doesn't seem to make any contact or anything, just gets the car a little bit loose. He takes it down to the apron, locks the brakes up as he's heading towards the inside wall. Hard smack against the wall. He's now in a slow motion spinner. Slowly coming to the right direction, gets that car pointing in the right direction, and finally back on the move again. Tough break for not pulling a caution as he got off the track quickly, headed towards the wall. Not sure what happened there, but tough break for Wetz as he gets that car rolling once again. Back to you guys.
All right, yeah, as we parade around the Homestead-Miami Speedway, still single file throughout the lead of this field. Adam Kodal, David Day, Jason Justice, Taylor Morgans, and David Schildhouse, your current top 5. The best race on the racetrack here these last couple of laps, Joe, has been around for about that 7th position, for around where Cosman is and Maverick Morrow and that number 57 is. There's been more spin action on the racetrack, Joe. You've seen all these wrecks out there, but Not sure if you've seen somebody just go around. I've seen an awful lot of smoke, but so far still under green flag.
Yeah, as I was kind of clicking through the field here looking to see what everybody was doing, I saw the tail end of what looked like a wreck down the front straightaway between a couple of drivers. Not hearing anything about a caution from race control, so we're still going to remain under the green flag here. So to go back and touch on what we were discussing earlier, we got racing all over this racetrack, particularly through the top 10. Obviously, it looked like we saw the 5 of David Day. Looks like he's well off the pace here. He pulled over, let the 21 of Derek Justice go by. That lap machine, the 2 of Tom Sylvain went by. The 7 of David Schildhouse went by. We see the 62 of Jason Justice. He's closed that gap significantly. He's all over the back bumper of the 33, looking to see if maybe he can take the lead. We see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's back there in the 3rd position. He's going down to the bottom, seeing if maybe he can go ahead and see if he can make a run on Jason Justice. So racing, like you said, Phil, racing all over this racetrack. We got guys that are just pushing it hard and seeing if they could make up as much ground in time as they can. So as we reported earlier, again, we had some contact between a couple drivers going down the front straightaway off of turn 4. So we're going to throw it down to TV time Rich Patton as we got a race for the lead here as well. We're going to throw it down to Rich to see if we can get a replay for you guys.
Yes, indeed, we can. The race for the lead's in the top left. The replay we're going to keep our eyes on is in the bottom right. Number 10, Chris Barnes. Looks like he's going to have a little bit of an issue. We're going to keep our eyes on that. Running through in full speed. We'll slow motion it just in a second. That's one right there, right in front of him. Locks up the brakes. Not sure what Naraki's going to do, but for whatever reason, he's brake checking. Doesn't look like Barnes saw it. We'll let this play out. He goes up to avoid it. Smacks the wall to miss it. One's, meanwhile, stops back there. Barnes spinning down the front or down the straightaway, finally gets it down onto the apron, misses the wall, finally gets it stopped. He's going to point that car in the right direction. No caution came out for this one. Tough break for both the 1 and the 10 tonight here. Back up to you guys.
All right, still under the green flag, though, 136 laps into the Asus 300. And looking around the Speedway, Joe, as they're sprinkled all over this place, the fastest car on the racetrack as far as my eyes go looks to be that number 53 of Kevin McAdams. He passed a couple of cars here while Rich was doing the replay. He was able to dive around that Maverick Morrow machine. David Day also was a victim there to that 53 moving forward. And Kevin McAdams, one of the administrators over here, but done such a great job of this event here, Todd Stanton. We're giving us all this information and all these tidbits at our fingertips. Just like this one you got more stuff about all these post-race awards here for this series and this evening and all the great stuff they do over here at FTF.
Yeah, Justin Malolo, just one of the many admins that we have here at FTF, co-founders Justin Malolo and Kevin McAdams, along with expert setup manager David Schildhouse, race control extraordinaire Brandon Lawson, and one of the finest track editors, Adam Colo. Tonight they have 4 drivers, of course, in this Jones series that were available here for the championship: David Schildhouse, Derek Justice, Ryan Williams, and Taylor Morgans. Those guys, out of 4, there is 4 different prizes. The champion will receive a large cup trophy and a pair of incredible headphones sold exclusively at Radio Shack, one of the places that Justin Malolo works and one of his main sponsors here on his Jones Cup Series ride here. Second and third will also receive smaller trophies, and they will also receive a pair of incredible headphones as well. Fourth place, which makes this interesting, maybe we'll have to ask a little bit about this one, but fourth place will get a Final Four certificate. I'm not sure if that's a Final Four like basketball or if that's just Final Four something to do with maybe next year in the Cup Series. I'm not sure.
Yeah, thinking about the certificate, Todd, it could very well be a participation certificate. If you're not first, you're last. I mean, who knows? So, I mean, kudos to them for making it to the Final Four, but front 3 get a trophy and the 4th place guy gets a certificate. But I mean, that's what happens, unfortunately. So.
All right, well, trying to regather from that one, Joe Allen. You just got me there choking on my water. As we recap back to the front of this field, looks like we've had some of our race leaders head toward pit road. The 33 of Adam Codal, he's ducked his way out of the race lead. Relinquished it now to Taylor Morgans and at number 36, the 21 of Derek Justice, and the 7 of David Schildhouse. Those 3 drivers racing for a championship currently scored our top 3 as we keep peeking toward pit road, Todd Stanton. I wonder how much longer these guys among their race leaders, they got to be toward the tail end of this fuel and tire run. I wonder how much longer these guys can afford to stay out, as some of these guys have started to duck down on the pit road.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine some of these guys staying out that much longer because you're going to lose a lot of time, a lot of valuable time. As Homestead-Miami has always been a tire leader. It looks like these guys fall off quite a bit.
Yeah, as we see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, he's still out front, guys. He's looking like he's trying to expand on his lead. We see his lead over the 21 of Derek Justice last time by was about 0.8 seconds. Not sure if Derek's can, reel him in any faster than what he's doing, but you guys touched on it right. It's a balancing game. You're not entirely sure how much time you're willing to give up for the longer that you stay out there, and you're trying to not put yourself into a position where you might get mired a lap down, God forbid a wreck happens. So it's really a balancing act. You want to stay out there as long as you can, use up as much fuel as you can, to make sure that you can get yourself a full tank of gas. As we see the 71 here of Chris Wetz going back around the 36 of Taylor Morgan. It looks like he just came down pit road, actually. Now it looks like the 21 of Derek Justice, he just dove down pit road. So not sure when we're going to see our leader come into pit road. I would imagine Taylor's probably going to be looking to dive down pit road here within the next couple of laps. So we're going to throw it down to Phil real quick. I think he's down in the 21 pit and get a pit report for us.
Yeah, I'm down here in the GameStop Ford pit of Derek Justice at number 21. Long ride down here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway to the far end of pit road. He'll make that left-hand turn with that first pit stall. He's on the sign, right side tires up in the air for that GameStop Ford. Right side tire work up and down over to the left side. It's going to be a 4-tire pit stop on this end of pit road. Work for Derek Justice going on. Left sides are on. He's down and away, Joe Allen.
Yeah, we saw a whole bunch of leaders all duck down to pit road and follow Taylor Morgan's down there. He's getting ready to make that left-hand turn into his pit stall here. I'm anticipating we're probably going to see a 4-tire pit stop. The right sides are up on the car right now. This is a fixed setup race, so you're not going to see any wedge adjustments or tape adjustments or anything like that. Only thing they can adjust on is tires. So left sides are up on that 36 car. They're going to be down. He's going to be down and away. 4-tire stop for the 36 of Taylor Morgan's.
I'm down here in the pit stall of the number 7 of David Shillhouse. Shillhouse, another one of those championship contenders. 4 tires is the call. It is down and away, and he's going to join just out in front of the number 53 machine. That is Kevin McAdams.
I was down in Maverick Morrow's pit, that Oreo Chevrolet number 57. It was 4 tires and fuel. 62 of Jason Justice also took 4 tires in the 53 of Kevin McAdams. All those guys, 4 tires of work, and they're down and away as we let this recycle through a round of green flag pit stops, Joe Allen. I believe all green flag pit stops now may recycle and be complete. And just looking here through timing and scoring, trying to figure out who may indeed have won that sprint race off of pit road. Looks like our new race leader is going to be the 05 of David Day. We've seen them guys, him and Matt Vassar both. They short pitted a little bit, and what a pit stop for David Day there, Joe, about 10 laps ago. He's got a 3.5-second lead over the rest of the field.
Yeah, great pit stop for David Day and the 29 of Matt Vassar, about 3.5 seconds behind that 05 car. In this round of pit stops, at least about 10 laps later, we see our big winners, that number 21 of Derek Justice. He had a great stop. He pulled out to roughly about a 2-second lead over the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, who stayed out basically a lap after Derek had decided to come down pit road. So a lot of different strategy games here. We see guys like Matt Vassar, like David Day, who went down pit road approximately 5 to 10 laps before the rest of these guys decided to go down pit road. So gotta wonder, how many laps we can see David be able to stay out there, as we see the 21 of Derek Justice just made a pass on the 29 of Matt Vassar. Not a whole lot of competition for that position, at least. So definitely tires are going to prevail here. Got to wonder how long it takes Derek Justice to potentially close in that gap between himself and the 05 of David Day.
Been riding around back here, a great race on the racetrack for, looks like, around that 8th position between Adam Kodal and that number 33. David Schildhouse has the advantage of that number 7, but there's been some tremendous racing all around. The 42 of Jake Pullen also there, as well as the 62 of Jason Justice. That's racing just inside for that top 10. Those two guys there racing for that 9th and 10th position. So as we've got through that round of green flag pit stops, David Day's got a great, advantage, 3.5 seconds over the rest of this field, but, 6 seconds on back for about 5th place on back, Todd Stanton. This is great racing all over the Speedway.
Yeah, it looks like the 05 of David Day, some type of strategy is now he's done with a 3.24, but it looks like the number 93 up in smoke here in front of your leader, David Day. Not sure if that's going to bring out a yellow flag. I have not seen that come out yet, but I know up in smoke, the number 93 of Rick Johnson.
Yeah, not seen anything from race control yet about a caution. 93 blew the engine through the middle of 3 and 4 there, spun right in front of your leader, David Day, actually, but got himself down onto the apron there. So looks like everything is just fine. Not seeing any oil or anything being reported on the track. So I think that's going to keep us under green flag conditions for here, or for now at least. So as we see now, as we look back up through the field, we see the 05 of David Day. He is your race leader. The 21 of Derek Justice, he is in the second position. He's actually closed that gap significantly. That gap's now only 2 seconds. It started out at just over 4 or 5 seconds when Derek had just finished his pit stop, Todd. So we got a lot of guys that are trying to make up a lot of time here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of different guys giving up different positions, giving up different time. And it looks like David Day is trying to save stuff. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm going to throw it down to I'm going to throw it to Phil for maybe even a chat box update. Phil, do you have any of those guys down there? Have they been real active in the chat box?
Oh, they've certainly been very, very proactive here in the chat box tonight. Seeing all a bunch of guys out there. Our good buddy Bob Tompkins out there, as always, in the chat box, mixing it up with I see guys like Milt Minter out there, Ace Money, a bunch of these guys out there. They've been out there all night long, engaging back and forth. A lot of great conversations going on. But Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, I believe you're down in the booth, and I believe you got a little bit of picture-in-picture action for us.
Yeah, I do, boy. Playing with the punt cam down here. You guys probably noticed the punt cam sitting there on the right bottom side, but we're going to go ahead and get that corrected now. I'm in the picture-in-picture. We got the live race up on the top left. We're going to keep our eyes on Rick Johnson in 93. I know there's a lot of Rick Johnson fans out there in YouTube land. Tough break for Rich Johnson. We're going to go ahead and pull it. Rick Johnson. We're going to go ahead and play this at full speed as he gets into the corner. Everything's looking good, and then all of a sudden, boom, motor, let's go. You saw that car jolt just a little bit. He's going to lose control of that car. It's going to go up and bounce against the outside wall. Next thing you know, that was David Day that just went by him along with the rest of the field following. But now it looks like Rick Johnson, blown motor down on the inside, did not cause a caution. Unbelievable. But the race goes on, guys. Tough break for the 93 and those 93 fans out there.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of them out there in that YouTube chat box. Been rooting for Rick all night long, and unfortunately now going to be behind the wall. His evening is done in that number 93, but a race for the lead now, Joe. We saw David Day had that humongous advantage. Looks like I don't want to put the cat out of the bag here. It looks like he may be saving a little bit of fuel as now the 21 of Derek Justice has run him down and has now reasserted himself to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we saw Derek Justice catch David Day right through the middle of 3 and 4, and David just kind of pulled over and let him go, and next thing you know, Derek's gone, and he's pulled out to probably about half a second lead here as we see the 5 now under attack by the 36 of Taylor Morgans, who's now trying to run down the leader, the 21 of Derek Justice as well. That's not only for the race lead, guys. That's also going to be for the points championship.
Oh, that certainly is. That's great racing up there between Derek and Taylor Morgans in that 036, just trying to sprinkle all around the Speedway, Josie, where all this great racing is going on as we update what's going on for the lead. And as far as the chase for the championship goes here for the Jones Cup Series at FTF, right now it is Derek Justice at the top of the leaderboard and right where he wants to be as far as pertaining to what could come down later on tonight as far as the Jones Cup Championship here at FTF. Can he go back-to-back as far as championships go on DRTV? We'll have to sort that out just outside of 40 laps here left to go. 157 currently up on the board. The GameStop 4 to 21. The 36 of Taylor Morgan's there in second. 2.5 seconds now to David Day in the 05, currently third. David Schildhaus is fourth, and Adam Kodal currently in that fifth spot as these guys are all just kind of sorted out all around the Speedway. But to think about it, Joe Allen, I know you're one of these guys. You're a fuel guru. We look at the fuel window here. These guys pitted about, just around lap 140. Can these guys stretch it and make it from here on one more pit stop, you think?
I'm thinking maybe one more pit stop. It'll be close. They might be able to, depending if you can go out there and clutch. Like we know guys like Derek Justice can do it. Taylor Morgans can do it. David Day can do it. David Schildhaus. All of these top-tier guys know how to clutch and stay fast and be able to keep themselves up to the front. So depending on how many laps a fuel window is here, I don't particularly remember how many laps it is, but they might be able to. Green flag conditions, if you get yourself spread out far enough, you might be able to make something like that work, Phil. But only time will tell. When you have drivers like Taylor that can get up there and put pressure on the leader and whatnot, makes it really hard to be able to save fuel when you're trying to maintain your position. So it definitely depends. Either one or two stops. It's gonna be one of those. But if you can make it on one stop and save enough fuel to do it, that might be the winning strategy. It's just a matter of who can do it.
Now, that's certainly going to be something to keep an eye on. You know, we saw David Day. He pitted early, you know, along with the championship contenders of like Ryan Williams, per se, and that number 28. But one thing to keep in the back of their mind, Todd Stanton, a lot of those guys, one caution flag ago, they all had to take a wave around. They were trapped one lap down through a round of green flag pit stops and all had to take a wave around. So maybe those guys not quite as good on fuel as, say, maybe a Derek Justice and a Taylor Morgans.
Yeah, definitely not probably that good on fuel for some of those guys that did take the wave around like 2 or 3 laps. All the difference in pit strategies. There's a lot of different strategies going out there on the field here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Derek Justice right now currently leading, but Taylor Morgan's all over the rear bumper. He's closed that gap considerably over that number 21 of... on the 21 of Derek Justice, for that matter, the 036 of Taylor Morgan's. These guys navigating through traffic. Morgan's just kind of in lockstep.
Yeah, see, battling now here back and forth between these leaders, between Derek Justice and the 36 of Taylor Morgans, as they're kind of dicing between, lap cars here as well, guys. But Taylor Morgans went and took almost a second lead that the 21 had on him and basically ran him down, and now he's looking to get underneath him. Not sure if he can make the pass on the bottom here with the worn tires. It's definitely going to be difficult to do with the run that they can keep up on the top side here, but we see a great battle between these front two guys for the lead up here, and we see the 7 of David Schildhaus. He's your third championship driver. He's mired back in the third position, just about 3.5 seconds behind the race leaders here. So as these laps continue to wind down, pit stops, I think, if we continue this under green for what we have right now, guys, is definitely going to be a deciding factor for not only this race win, but for this championship. We see, unfortunately, the 28 of Ryan Williams. He's mired back in the 16th position, 24 seconds off the lead, so he might be in danger of possibly going down a lap based on his wave around that he took after the last caution. So a lot of shakeup for these championship contenders. We see the likes of the 62 of Jason Justice. He's back in the 7th position. We see the 33 of Adam Kodal, one of our early race leaders that really dominated the middle half of this race. He's mired back in the 6th position. Maverick Morrow back in the 5th position, 5.5 seconds off the lead. So right now it's looking like it's completely down to the 21 and the 36 until we cycle through our next round of pit stops here. That'll pull these guys back in with probably the 5 of David Day when we get to that point, as well as the 29 of Matt Vassar and a few other of these drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately for the likes of Matt Vassar and Tom Sylvain, those two guys really, really fast out on the racetrack. Those are 2 of the guys that got trapped on the end of the lead lap there, or 1 lap down, I should say, and they're relegated now outside the top 15 as the 5 of David Day looks like he has made his way to pit road. So on that different fuel strategy, Joe, from that wave around, the 05 on pit road, I can't imagine the 28 of Ryan Williams, who may be on that same strategy, may not be too far behind him. So Todd Stanton will have to keep an eye on pit road and keep an update on that 28 of Ryan Williams, as he's one of those 4 guys out there racing for a championship.
Yeah, definitely going to have to keep an eye on Ryan Williams. It's interesting to see some of his strategy calls all evening long, and he was fighting tooth and nail with these guys earlier on in the event, so I'm kind of confused what happened to Ryan Williams. I know we said he restarted 28th, but did he have a bad pit stop? Has he collected a little bit of damage here throughout the race? I'm not sure what's going on with Ryan Williams. I know he's one of the heavily favored guys here to win this Jones Cup Championship. I've heard a lot of talk on the Facebook pages and the YouTube channels and different things that Ryan Williams was one of the guys that was a sure win. Or a lot of these guys were saying that he's going to win this championship, but he's not the case right now.
No, looking like it's going to be coming down here through these last laps to, say, a Derek Justice and a Taylor Morgans. They got a 5-second advantage over now third place Kevin McAdams in that 53, and 7 seconds better now, or about 6 seconds rather, to that number 7 of David Schildhaus, who is currently 4th, but he's the 3rd driver there of those 4 that are championship eligible tonight for the Jones Cup Series here at FTF. But now working lap number 168, Joe Allen. You think about it, these guys were on pit road about lap 140. We could be maybe a handful of laps or so away from maybe our last round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we could be expecting to see some of these guys here soon. Listening to scanner traffic, I haven't heard anything from the leaders yet as far as who's coming down pit road and when they're coming down pit road. We've actually seen the likes of the 53 of Kevin McAdams, the 7 of David Schildhaus. Those guys have actually fallen and lost a lot of time from these leaders, Taylor Morgans and Derek Justice. So definitely going to be an interesting battle coming down to the end here to figure out who stays in contention to win this championship. And we know guys like Derek Justice, guys like Taylor Morgans really know how to battle and get these green flag pit stops done almost pristine and almost nearly perfect. So it's definitely going to set us up for one hell of a battle, and it's going to be interesting to see who can get on pit road the best, who can utilize that access road the best. We see Derek Justice is actually pulled out to a little bit of a gap and an advantage over that 36 of Taylor Morgan. So I got to wonder if maybe Taylor might be trying to save a little bit of fuel here, setting himself up for this next pit stop or not, as we see the gap from third on back actually growing even more than it was before as well. So these guys are putting down blistering laps from some of these other guys. So Todd, what do you think? You think these guys can make it on one more stop, or you think we're going to see 2 more stops here by the end of this thing?
I think these guys can make it on one more stop. They're well within their window here. The 21 of Derek Justice should be well within his window here and should be able to make it the rest of the way. Same way with the 36 Taylor Morgans. These guys setting some blistering times around the speedway, but I think a lot of these guys are going to come down pit road at least one more time. Joe, I don't foresee them actually having to pit twice here in this last sequence. You might even see some of these guys gamble. I think a lot of the conserving for fuel is going around. If you take a lot less fuel, you might be able to make it out quicker. It looks like Derek Justice now coming down to pit road in that number 21 machine. Oh, and he almost clocked the barrels. Did Derek Justice just barely missing the barrels here on the end of pit road? The 21 of Derek Justice now coming down to pit road to the aid of his pit crew, and that might have been a costly mistake for Derek Justice.
Yeah, watching Derek Justice dive off a pit road there, we had lap cars mixed into that equation with fresher tires, and, you know, who knows? I saw Derek dive down off the racetrack. Didn't look like he made it through the commitment cone, so not sure if he might even have a commitment cone violation here, which could have huge championship implications for him. As we see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's here, he's still out on the racetrack turning laps here, trying to maintain his gap and his lead. So definitely something that's going to shake this up, guys. With Derek having that rough pit entry, this is going to be interesting to see how much of an advantage somebody like David Day, who's already made their pit stop, will have on the rest of the field here when Taylor comes down to make his pit stop.
And can update, it looks like the penalty for that commitment line violation, as you said, Joe, looks like the 21 was held there for a couple extra seconds on that end of pit road. Now the 36 of Taylor Morgan's trying to slide in. He may have also overrun that cone. We'll have to update that situation now as the 036 of Taylor Morgan's racing for a championship. He's bringing that Chevrolet to the attention of his crew. A long ride down here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, 45 miles per hour. Taylor pitted right in the middle of this field here. He's on the pit sign. Right side tires up in the air for that Chevrolet. The work on that Freddie's Chevrolet down. Right side tires are down now over to the left side. Going to be a 4-tire pit stop. So 4 is going to be the call. Maybe 2 cans of fuel, second can in. 36 revving it up and now down low. It looks like he's going to be held as well. The official is out. The 36 car, Taylor Morgan's huge break there. Now both them championship contenders having to deal with penalties, Joe Allen.
Huge championship implications. I was following the number 7 of David Schildhouse. That was our 3rd championship contender. He actually got on pit road perfectly. He's coming down off of pit road now. 4-tire stop for that number 7 machine of David Schildhouse. He's going to get out in front of the 36 machine of Taylor Morgan's. He's also going to get out in front of that 21 machine of Derek Justice. So, you know, David Schildhouse and that 7 guys, he went from 5-6 seconds back off the race lead between these 2 guys. He's actually going to resume the lead here and actually take over the championship points lead based on costly pit mistakes from probably 2 of the guys who we all least expected to make those pit road mistakes. So this just goes to show you that anything can happen in the closing laps of these races. Anybody can make a mistake, and you see just how costly some of these mistakes really are.
No, you're certainly seeing that as this thing recycles here, as these guys now up of different pit stop strategies. It's going to recycle to David Day in the 05 now, reclaiming the race lead with 176 laps up on the board. Matt Vassar, the number 29, now currently scored in that 2nd spot. And Ryan Williams at 28, currently going to be the lead of those chase drivers, guys. He's going to lead that final 4 if this race were to be to its conclusion as of right now. Ryan Williams at 28 would be crowned our champion, but he's also on that different fuel strategy there, Todd, with David Day and Matt Vassar. These guys are kind of a little bit off a sequence, but now the big question is, can these guys roll the dice and make it from here?
Just going to have to wait and see if these guys can actually make it the rest of the way. Some of these guys are on extremely different strategies out there. And like you said, Phil, some of these guys have made some costly mistakes there, commitment code violations for two of the championship contenders. Ryan Williams right now running in third in that number 28 machine. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here as this race unfolds.
Now the field now working its way through turns number 3 and 4. David Day, your current race leader. Matt Vassar, Ryan Williams, Jason Justice, Kevin McAdams currently in that 5th spot. 6 through 10, Brandon Lawson, Maverick Morrow, Jake Poulin, David Schildhaus is 9th. Adam Kodal currently in the 10th spot. Taylor in that number 70, currently 11th. Jordan Buster is 12th. Andrew Swartz is 13th. Mike Fallon is 14th. Matt Derb, the number 92, he's currently in the 15th spot. 16 through 20, we find Hagerstein in that number 62, or 92 rather. He's currently 16th. Just trying to catch up with timing and scoring as it's switching here in front of me. Derek Justice is 17th. Tom Sylvain is 18th. Cosman currently 19th. Taylor Morgan's now 1 lap down, relegated all the way back to that 20th spot, guys. That's your full field, or quick recap of the top 20 now with about 20 laps here left to go. 180 laps going on the board here, Joe Allen. The question is, these guys in the top 3, do they have enough fuel to make it from here, or are they going to have to come to pit road for one more quick splash?
Oh, with these pit sequences, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it'll be close. It's definitely going to be close. I'm looking at the intervals and the gaps. The 7 of David Schildhaus, he's just about 6.5 seconds off the race lead. The 28 of Ryan Williams, just about a second ahead of the 7, so we actually could have our championship battle get shaken up within the next couple of laps. The 7's going to catch the 28. He might swallow up that 28, go right by him, and resume the championship lead. As we see the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, he just went around the 5 of David Day to resume that lead, as David actually goes all the way down to the apron, like he was looking like he was going to try to go on pit road but missed the commitment cone. Who knows? And I got reports now that the 28 is on pit road as well, so these guys definitely were not going to make it on fuel is what it looks like. So now the real question is if these guys can't make it on fuel and they're pitting, they're cutting their run in half from what most of these other lead lap guys are doing. Gotta wonder if the likes of David Schildhaus and Maverick Morrow and a few of these other guys that are on the same pit strategy, can they make it on fuel to the end of this event?
Well, it's certainly going to be a different strategy for these guys indeed, as Ryan Williams, now that championship contender, 6-time winner this season in the Jones Cup Series, is on pit road. 4 tires for that number 28 Haviland machine. That Chevrolet getting service done. The 28 of Ryan Williams down the way. Also looks like David Day in the 05. He's relinquished the race lead. They've had to come to pit road. So Todd Stanton, these guys made their bed with this strategy. These guys may be now behind the 8 ball with less than 20 laps to go. The race for the championship may have fallen into the hands of David Schildhaus in that number 7, as we've talked about many, many times here on DRTV over the years. Pit road under green can be treacherous, and especially in a place like a Homestead. The slightest mistake can make your championship dreams go up in smoke. And for the likes of Derek and for Taylor, those guys having those penalties, critical mistakes at a crucial time, and that may have just blown their championship hopes all to pieces.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that just happened, you know, like we were saying, crucial pit stops, green flag pit stops, and it's interesting to see how it's all going to play out. As right now your current race leader is the number 53 machine. Is your current race leader. I believe that's Kevin McAdams aboard the number 53. The 62 is running second. Still the 57 is third. Fourth is David Schildhaus. And fifth is the 33 of Adam Kodal. He is running in that 5th spot. So just a lot of shakeups here. And I'm looking up and down the chart here. We're going to look at Derek Justice right now. Is 11th in the number 21, the 036 of Taylor Morgan's. He is 12th on the field right now. So way, way behind the number 7 of David Schildhaus.
Yeah, he is way behind, as you said, you know, currently in that 4th spot, but leading that championship standing as of right now with outside of 15 laps to go now. 185 laps going up on the board of the 200 that make up our 300-mile race here tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Jones Cup Series at FTF Championship Night. Finale race number 36, a great 2016 season coming to a close for so many of the great racing leagues out there. And if you'd like to get your league on DRTV, the best in sim race TV, DRLnetwork.com is the home for us here on the DRL Network. And get Todd, Rich, Joe, myself over to your place and showcase all the great things you've got going on Great new broadcast rate, so much more affordable now. We've got to cut so much overhead and can be so much more accessible to all our great viewers and clients out there. New customers always welcome, so check us out. DRLnetwork.com is the home of DRTV. Here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway with less than 15 laps to go. It's Kevin McAdams, Joe Allen, with that race lead. He's got a 2-second advantage over a great battle for second between Jason Justice and Maverick Morrow. Does the 53 have enough gas to roll the dice and find his way to victory lane?
That's a great question, Phil. And to report, we saw the 5 of David Day, who was our race leader. He's just coming off a pit road again, so he may have had a pit road speeding penalty as well. So that's probably going to eliminate any chance that he had at potentially getting a race win here, depending on how this shakes up with the rest of our race leaders. I see the 24 of Cosman coming onto the racetrack again. But to go back and report to our leaders, you know, I'm not sure if the 53 and the 62 can make it on gas. The last time I remember when we had that caution that caught a bunch of those guys a lap down that had to take waiver rounds, I believe the 53 and the 62 were all involved in that and were caught a lap down. So I'm not entirely sure if those guys can make it, but if they can, you know, kudos to them. I see the 53 diving to the bottom of the racetrack here. Doesn't look like he's going to be making a pit stop, though, but the 62 might be saving gas as well. I see the gap between those two guys looks like it's actually increasing. It went from 296. Looks like it's actually now at 331 as Maverick actually passes 62 of Jason Justice. So this is definitely going to be an interesting race to determine whether or not these guys can make it to the end.
Wow, there was some contact on the racetrack right around that race for that second and third position there, Joe, between, right around that Jason Justice machine. Not sure if he got a piece of that or not, but there were cars all over the place there. It looks like it was a 52 of Stoltz that was, right in the mix of that, got sideways and up into the outside wall. So that may be some really interesting video for Rich to document on the screen. That happened right around the David Schildhouse machine, who is racing for a championship out there, Joe Allen, and looks like maybe racing for his life. Is he in maybe a fuel conservation mode from here? I've seen him drop kind of way off the pace. Are these guys on the bitter end of maybe making it? Are these guys going to be cutting it that close?
They could very well be cutting it that close. I mean, we see Derek Justice has now moved into the top 10 after his pit road mistake. So, got to wonder if maybe these guys are doing a lot of clutching here to try and save it. But we see David Schildhouse in the 7. Depending on how well he is on gas, we know he pitted well after these front 3 guys pitted. David Schildhouse has moved into a 5-second difference between himself and the race leader. He'll be all over the back bumper of the 57 and the 62 here relatively quick within the next couple of laps, Phil. So I'm not entirely sure. This is going to be close. If the 53 can make it on gas here, I'm going to be very impressed with how long ago he actually came down pit road.
All right, and Rich Patton, I believe you're ready with that replay there. Some interesting times around that 7 of David Schildhouse. There was definitely contact and that Stoltz machine up on the wall. So throw it down to you, Rich, for a replay.
Yeah, definitely on the ball here tonight. So we're going to keep our eyes on the 52 of Stoltz and watch this thing go as it went through. Some of you guys may have got to see some of that action on my punt cam as I was working back through it, but that's okay. I don't care. So Stoltz is up on against the wall. Next thing you know, look at that. He's coming down on Morrow. Justice right below them as well. Looks like there's going to be a lot of damage from this one by the way things are going. The 52 is obviously sideways. We'll play this through in slow motion. A little bit of contact. He comes down on Morrow. 52 is getting sideways. Looks like Justice may have helped him accidentally push that nose back towards the outside. Puts Stoltz back up against the wall, unable to get down into the mix of the other cars. That way everybody else was able to get through there, but it looked like it was going to take that bunch of cars out for quite a while there. Good driving by Stoltz, good driving by everybody else around him. Tough break for that 52, though. Back to you guys.
Yeah, certainly was a tough break. Now we're inside of 10 laps to go, just outside of 5 laps to go. 194 of 200 on the board. And the story is now, can Kevin McAdams, can he stretch the fuel from here? Can he find his way to victory lane here and close this season out on the right foot, being a substitute driver for our friend Justin Malello, who usually pilots at number 53 out there in the Jones Cup Series? Justin, unfortunately, some issues, not able to race the last couple of races of the season, and what a hired gun to hire. Kevin McAdams, he's won so many great races over the years, one of the fastest guys we see in the NASCAR Racing 2003 community. The 53 out in the race lead with a 5-second advantage. You're seeing guys out there all over this racetrack, Todd, a lot of clutching going on, especially in that number 7 camp of David Schildhouse. He has been way off the gas pedal. He's got a 20-second advantage on the racetrack over Derek Justice. Those two guys racing for the championship as it pertains to just now. And can David Schildhouse roll a dice in here? All these guys amongst the top 5 got to be close on fuel.
All these guys trying to save fuel-saving race here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Who would have thought that? FTF Cup, Jones Cup Series. Great racing so far, and there's only about 4 laps left here, 5 laps left here of this race. And it's just interesting to see how these guys clutching. It's going to be good time.
Yeah, and it looks like Todd's having some technical communication issues. No big deal. We'll go ahead and pick up from it. But, yeah, definitely an interesting scenario we have playing out in front of us to determine whether or not that 53 can make it on gas here. As we see, actually, it looks like saw some smoke up there through turns 1 and 2. Not seeing anything from race control about a caution or not. So we're going to continue on as is. The 53 at Kevin McAdams here. A lot of clutching. We see a lot of cars diving down onto the access road here. Not sure if we got cars that are pitting or if they're running out of gas, but Kevin McAdams still charging along. He's going to come around to complete lap 197, start lap 198 here as he retains that almost 6-second lead over the 57 of Maverick Morrow. So got to believe Maverick and the 7 and the 62, they're all looking to save gas here as the 53 is just setting sail out front. So guys, he seems to be putting down some lap times here while the rest of these guys are saving. So he must have done something different that these other guys didn't figure out early on, because he's doing a hell of a job as far as saving gas and continuing to run out front here. As we see Derek Justice clutching a whole bunch as the 53 goes around Derek Justice all the way up against the wall. So this is a hell of a race that's unfolding in front of us here, guys.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that 53. He is all over that clutch pedal. We don't hear a lot of throttle response at all, so he's got to be saving fuel as well. And that number 53 is, he's just so gingerly off the gas pedal, on the gas pedal, and just kind of prancing around this Homestead-Miami Speedway. A circuit and a half as he works through turns number 3 and 4. 6.5 seconds of lead last time around, and white flag's going to be in the air one more time around.
And as the 53 takes the white flag, he's going to dive himself down into turn 1, get that car wound down all the way to 150 miles an hour through the middle of the corner. He's going to pick it up on the backstretch. Not seeing anything to suggest that he's going to run out of fuel down the backstretch as of yet. We've seen a lot of guys so far that have been cutting this really close, but all smooth sailing for the 53 as we see a wreck, it looks like, in the middle of 3 and 4 here. We saw a car that was spinning, but the 53 is going to come through the middle here. He's going to get passed by the 2. The 53 of Kevin McAdams is going to come off the corner. He's going to come down and take the checkered flag to win this race.
Yeah, it's going to be the race for the win. Kevin McAdams will pick up the win. Now the big race is for the championship. Can David Schildhouse keep that thing pointed? He's under the checkered flag. It's David Schildhouse, going to be your 2016 FTF Jones Cup Series champion. What a tremendous race, guys. Joe, tremendous finish there. And Kevin McAdams, how about that? Able to stretch that fuel out and win this race by well over 6.5 seconds. That's a tremendous race for that number 53 machine. And kudos to all these guys. And, the big one tonight, the 7 of David Schildhouse. He'll going to finish up on the podium, but, overall, he's going to be the champion. And I know they're very, very happy down there in the Vasshouse camp. They're all celebrating there, bumping that number 7 on the backstretch. What a tremendous race these guys put on an FTF tonight, especially these last 120 laps, basically caution-free.
Yeah, hell of a job to all of those guys down there. David Schildhouse had the perfect last pit stop that proved to be the deciding factor of the race. We saw the problems for the 21 of Derek Justice, the problems for the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, both getting held in their pit stalls for commitment cone violations. Huge congratulations to the 53 of Kevin McAdams for showing everybody how it's done when it comes to the fuel game. He's going to win this race, but even bigger so, great performance put on by the number 7 of David Schildhouse. He's out of Tucson, Arizona, so huge congratulatory wishes are sent out to him and his entire team, all those Vasshouse guys. This is an awesome thing for all of those guys to do. So I'm sure we'll get to talk with David here down in our championship victory lane, and we'll get to talk with Kevin McAdams about his strategy. So just enjoy this burnout for these guys while we get ourselves caught up down in victory lane, and we'll get some interviews.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't catch up with our top 3. As we work toward the post-race show, of course, Kevin McAdams picking up the big race win. Maverick Morrow, the 57, was a winner one night ago on DRTV. He'll bring it home in that second spot. And the runner-up tonight on the podium, third position, our series champion, David Schildhouse, aboard that number 7. I'm sure he's a very ecstatic driver. They got the stage all set up down there on the front stretch. I know Rich Patton is going to be sprinting there as well, and I'm going to sprint toward victory lane. So I'm going to throw it over to my broadcast partners up here in the booth. Mr. Joe Allen, I believe you're going to try to get a word with the number 57 of Maverick Morrow.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can catch up down with Maverick Morrow here on pit road. We're going to see if maybe we can get him down here. Just give us 1 second as we're going through all the crowds of people down here on pit road and trying to catch up with all of our respective individuals. And I know Rich is maneuvering through the traffic down there in Championship Victory Lane so we can get a word with our FTF Jones Cup Series champion, David Schildhouse, and all of those other drivers that are deserving of this. So I finally caught up here with the number 57 of Maverick Morrow. Maverick, this is a hell of a race that was put on this afternoon. How was your car out there?
Oh, it was pretty good. Had a lot of fun racing tonight. Wasn't real thrilled with my stupid move in the beginning under caution. Just hit the wrong pedal there and felt bad when I spun Tom out under caution. Had to go to the back, but was able to battle back through the field and get a good finish.
Yeah, we saw the little bit of goof there early on in the race, but you sure made up for it. Came up just a little bit short of Kevin. How much saving were you doing out there? It seemed like I didn't think Kevin was actually going to be able to make it to the end of this thing, but he proved me wrong. I mean, how much were you guys saving out there? Were you clutching pretty significantly to make it to the end of this race?
I didn't have to clutch at all. I was just letting off real early. Just kind of cruising at the end. I really didn't think I had a shot to run him down, so I was just trying to just maintain and a good pace and keep second place.
Definitely. Well, as always, it's a privilege having you out there on the racetrack and watching you race and turn down some of the fastest laps that some of these competitors have ever saw. And you're always up there in the top 5 battling for wins, and you usually find yourself there at the end of it. So huge congratulations goes out to you. Came up a little bit short, but still a hell of a run to cap this season off on a high note and hopefully get your stuff prepared for next year to make another run at a championship. I know you were involved in it, and I think you got eliminated in the last round. But I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to you. Give a shout out to all your sponsors, any friends or family that were out there in YouTube land watching the race tonight. The mic's all yours.
Yeah, I just want to thank FTF for providing us a fun place to race, and thanks to TDR for putting on a good broadcast for us. Thank you to all my sponsors. Oreo came on late. Team Losey's been with me. Just appreciate all their help, and gotta also thank my wife for allowing me to do this.
All right, well, that is the number 57 of Maverick Morrow, your second place runner-up finisher tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it down to my broadcast partner, Phil Lacasse. I believe he is caught up with our winner, Kevin McAdams.
Yeah, I fought my way down here to victory lane to Kevin McAdams. And Kevin, what a terrific run, man, into victory lane. How'd you save that much gas to win by that much, man?
I don't know, man. It was it's a smaller fuel cell with this new car, so I was kind of concerned that we wouldn't be able to make that last 30 laps or so, but pretty much decided to change my lane a little bit, get on that bottom line, and actually during my celebration, it actually ran right out of gas, but got the number 53 Radio Shack Chevrolet driving here with for my friend Justin. He's out for the next few weeks from his hobbies and whatnot because of a concussion, and I'm just running for him, and I'm proud to win for him and for Speed Inc.
Well, Kevin, we know as you're one of the administrators over at FTF and very involved in all the works that goes on. So to talk about this Jones Cup Series for a minute, the heavy hitters that come out here each and every week, I mean, these fields go 20 to 30 strong as far as who could possibly win on a weekly basis. And tell us about what the competition level out there is like here week after week, and especially the race like tonight, the last 120 laps of this race going out without a caution flag. It's just a testament to all the great racing you guys do over here week after week at FTF.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go and look on our website, ftfracing.net, you'll see results earlier this year. We'll have 10, 15 guys who just can't qualify because we have so much popularity. Obviously, with the season going on, people do taper off a little bit, but it's a great series. Like you said, 20 guys can win every week. We've seen people who are just complete long shots come in and win races here, whether it be part-timers or full-timers. I don't mean to kind of toot our own horn, but we do feel like we produce a great product for drivers to put the race in their own hands and create great racing for themselves and for audiences when we do broadcast our races. But great turnout tonight for FTF, great race, great finish, great championship for David. I'm very proud of him. He's been a huge friend of mine for the last decade, and I'm really proud of him that he got this, and he well-deserved title.
No, I couldn't agree more. As on the outside looking in, watching what this series does all year long, David certainly, no doubt, deserving of that championship. But Kevin, once again, congratulations on a great run, and thank you for having DRTV over here to FTF for our very first time. We certainly enjoyed all of it, and you guys put on one heck of a race. But I want to give you the microphone one more time to give a shout out to all your friends and your family and all your sponsors and everybody out there responsible for getting you on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, I just want to, once again, I got to thank Justin. I took a little bit of time off this series, and he asked me to come back and run for him. I couldn't. He's one of my best friends in and off the track. He's someone I consider a best friend. Gotta thank everyone at FTF, the drivers, the rest of the staff. Gotta thank DRTV. We'll probably be in contact once again to get some of the 2017 Cup Series races broadcasted. We look forward to the future for everybody.
Well, Kevin McAdams, congratulations, man, on putting that thing in victory lane tonight and finishing off the season on a high note. So, once again, great to talk to you. Been a while on DRTV, and we'll see you again hopefully real soon. Congratulations once again.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everything.
All right, that's Kevin McAdams, our winner down here in Victory Lane. But I'm going to throw it down over to our champion stage over there on the front straightaway. I believe Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, has caught up with our series champion, Mr. David Schildhaus, in the 7. So, Rich, I'm sure it's a wild show down there, as it is every time the Bass House guys do something big. Get down there and see if you can get David there, Rich.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it more up there in the booth, Phil. An amazing party down here. I'm down here with David. Man, what can you say, David? Series champion. How does it feel, buddy?
I'm not even sure what. It doesn't feel real right now, and the drama right there at the end when I'm hearing that Derek's got a penalty, Taylor's got a penalty, I know Ryan's got a pit, and everything 2 + 2 is equaling 4 for me in my brain, and I know that I'm the guy, and I can't believe it. I'm at a loss for words. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true. Really, it is.
Yeah, no kidding. We caught live, just when those penalties were happening on those two guys, and we saw them get held up in the pits, and we thought, oh my goodness, here goes a big mix for the championship. So now we've got a serious race within a race, and without any doubt in my mind, FTF, you guys put on one heck of a show tonight. Bunch of top-notch drivers out here. I mean, you got to be proud to be a series champion over here. It doesn't look like it's easy to do.
I was just talking with Maverick, and I was telling him it takes so much effort, more effort than I've ever had to put into sim racing. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and the amount of effort it takes to come into this series and run well is a lot. To come in and win is a next level, and now to say I'm the champion, I've beat out the best for whatever reason, whether it was bad luck, skill, whatever it was. To call me the champion, it seems so unlikely, and I'm exhausted, emotionally, physically. I am spent, but it is so worth it because this is just the sweetest thing. I couldn't imagine a better way to wrap up this season.
I couldn't agree with you more, David. One heck of a job, one heck of a race you did today. Congratulations on your series championship. Yeah, I know you're gonna take this back to your family and friends and crew and all, and do some celebrating afterwards. But before I let you go, I want to give the floor to you one more time. The mic is all yours, sir. Go ahead and give a shout out to whoever you need to out there that got you here tonight. Good job.
Thank you. First and foremost, FTF series, Justin, Kevin. The guys that's got this thing rolling and have kept it rolling, they were nice enough to bring me on as an admin middle part of the season to help move things along in a positive way and bring some new talent on board, and I've enjoyed every step of that ride. Big, huge thanks to my team, Bass House Racing. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to call friends, to call teammates, and to sit down and do this with every week. It's like a band of brothers, and we won the team championship. which is an incredible accomplishment. I'm so proud of all the guys on my team. Matt Vassar, Ryan Williams, who did a great job tonight going for a championship. Matt Durr, who's been with us since day one and is the best driver on the track, bar none, the best human being that plays this game. I love him to death. Dylan Smith, Jason Justice was there for us. We had sub-drivers throughout the year. Everyone that pitched in at Vast House Racing to take us to where we are today. Thank you to them. Thank you to PJ Jackson, who paints up the most amazing cars. I have loved driving his paint schemes for years now, and I'm so glad. I messaged him already. I said, we're the champs, PJ. We did it. We did it. We did it. I gave his artwork the honor that it deserves, and I'm so glad that I was able to do that. And to all the fans out there that are watching, the rest of the series, the drivers, this is the best group of drivers. This is the best group to race in. This is just amazing. I'm thrilled. This is the best Sunday I've had in a very, very long time, and I am so looking forward to the off season now.
All right, man. There you have it. Guys up in the booth, I don't know what else a champion could do. I mean, words from the champion, a true champion. We're going to let him go celebrate with his friends and family and crew and all and get that going. And I hear on the radio that, Joe, you got somebody also, so I'm going to throw it over to you, Joe.
Yep, and wrestling down here through the crowds, I caught up with owner / I'll call him competition director, Justin Malillo. Justin, hell of a show you guys put on for this final race of the year. What are your thoughts on how the race went?
That was something. I'll tell you what. I was on the edge of my seat for those last 50 laps or so. It was incredible. The start of the race was a little bit, usual. People trying to find their footing and getting going. But once they really got into a groove, those guys really put on one hell of a show. And there was drama. There was so much drama going on. That every single one of those four had a shot at winning tonight, and for one reason or another, David ended up on top, and I can't be more proud of David. What a show, what a finish. Thank you guys for broadcasting this. Holy crap.
Yeah, your guys went out there, and kudos to all of the drivers at FTF. Kudos to you and Kevin for putting on this event, putting on this league, all of that good stuff. So, I mean, it was a fantastic showing. We're glad to be here and do this for you guys, and we look forward to working with you guys in the future as well. So I'm going to hand it off to you really quick. We just wanted to get a quick interview with you before we get off the air. So any future plans for FTF that you want to throw out there? I know you guys run about 3 different series, I think, with Sunday being the big one. You guys expecting Jones? I know it's a study material, I think is what it is. Are they coming back for next year as a title sponsor? Anything in the works that you want to tell us about really quick?
Well, for right now, we are in contact with our sponsor from last season. We definitely want to get Jones or a like brand back on top of the series for 2017. That's definitely going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be Jones or something else, but we're definitely in talks with the same sponsor, Josh Stubbs. So thank you to him for sponsoring us this season. Thank you to all the sponsors who sponsored every individual race this season. Thank you to everybody who donated. And thank you to everyone who supported us. I mean, hell, 2 years ago, if you would have asked me if this is where we were going to be, I would have been like, you're crazy. But it's turned into something really awesome, and I'm really proud of all of the drivers, and really proud of our winners and champions tonight. So thank you guys again for everything.
All right, guys. Well, that is one of your primarily owners. I call him a competition director. He does this week in and week out, puts his heart and soul into it. That's Justin Malillo. Hats off to him and all the guys at FTF for everything that they've done for this year and the hell of a race that they put on for all of our viewers out there for this finale. I don't think we could have scripted it up any better to have all the adversity happen throughout the race, have David Schildhouse come out on top as your champion, Kevin McAdams come out in a fill-in position and win the race. I mean, Phil, Todd, this doesn't get any better than this. I think this is probably the perfect way we could have possibly ended off this weekend of our broadcasts that we've done so far.
Yeah, championship weekend certainly living up right to the billing here tonight. 120-plus laps to the checkered flag here tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the FTF Jones Cup Series. And what better way to end the full calendar racing here in 2016 as far as all the NASCAR circles go. And next up for us here on DRTV on the schedule, December the 10th, we go back over to the Backyard Garage Sim Racing League, the 6th annual holiday bash from the Daytona International Speedway, a no-plate version. So can't wait to get there. And registrations for that event are now open. So look up the BGSR guys. BGSimRacing.net is where to find them, and registration is now open. Also part of the Sim Racing Association. Head over there, and all links to the BGSR race as well. So that's next up for us, and we got a couple other announcements coming up over here in the next couple of weeks as well. So pay attention to all our outlets, drlnetwork.com, and follow DRTV on Facebook as well for all the last-minute updates. So until next time, for Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton in the booth, what a great job as always over the weekend. For my broadcast partners alongside in the booth, Mr. Too Tall, Todd Stanton, and Joey the Jet, Joe Allen alongside. My name is Phil LaCasse. I'd like to thank you for watching us this season with all these great installments of DRTV on the DRL Network. Till next time, good night.